Hello, welcome to episode 27 of Stiff Right Hand. This is Dominator Stern. I'm here with my guests Tarnya Allen and Phil Bedwell. Blah, 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 blah.
When he bangs old Tarnya, he shoots a gallon. It's your podcast host. It's Big Stu Allen.
Enough of that bollocks. Thank you for joining us and thank you for listening again to episode 26 last week with Nova. And I'm here with Tarnya Allen and Phil Bedwell. Hello.
I'm here and hello.
Hello.
We've sacked Liam off this week and we've got Phil in as the T-boy.
It's the T-boy / pile of laundry.
So let's talk. Let's talk wrestling things.
Okay.
Ronda Rousey.
Yes.
Over to you, Phil.
I'm the only one that watched it. Interesting. Very interesting promo. Can't wait till she turns heel.
Did she cut a promo? Because I didn't see it.
It was rough. She came out as like, because she's already getting booed, so she came out with the mic and was like, "Hey guys, I'm so happy to be here and I'm so privileged. Got the pop for name dropping Rowdy Roddy Piper." Very, someone has coached.
Cheap.
Yeah, very.
That's
very,
like Hello Springfield, isn't it?
Really.
Well, let's have a round of applause for the police.
Milton Keynes.
But really did the whole thing with, "Oh, I love you fans," and it was. She's being scripted. It's very awkward.
It's a bit like when Tom Jones came on at the Brits the other week, did you? And the crowd were really indifferent to it. They just weren't enjoying it until Tom Jones came on and said, "Was everybody having a good time?" which is a bit like the equivalent of "let's have a round of applause for the police." Crap. No one cares, Tom.
No one cares, Tom.
Someone's in the box doing hoovering up off the sister. No one gives a shit.
What's that ringing now as your relevance in 10 years ago? Sorry, Tom.
Yeah, like we got room to talk about that. Anyway.
20 years anniversary.
So Ronda Rousey,
Yes.
Tarn hates her because, do you know the Westboro Baptist Church?
Yes, I do.
Tarn reckons that she looks like one of the girls from Westboro Baptist Church.
She looks like any of the girls from Westboro Baptist
Church. It's that slightly pug-faced, shiny, smug American thing.
Right.
Yeah, that too much self-belief. Like she needs a good old kick in the fucking teeth.
I will
to settle her straight.
This is a very good point, because back in the day I was very, very pro Ronda. And
I remember, I know. I've gone the other way now. I think she's awesome.
Precisely, and I think so. I was fully on board.
We used to get into it quite a lot, didn't we?
Yeah. I read the book of her and everything. Then in her last two fights, not because she lost, it's the way she handled the loss. Fair enough, first one against Holly Holm, she got shit canned really hard, but she dealt with it, but she got exposed. Now the build up to her last fight, she didn't do any press, she didn't want to talk about anything, the pressure was too much for her. Turned up on the day, got done in under a couple of minutes, and then left again. And I just figure, you can always tell how someone is going to be after they get defeated. Someone like Conor McGregor, who got defeated, was very gracious in his defeat, whereas Ronda Rousey was always talking about being this do-nothing bitch, or like she set up a massive campaign about this, about like she goes out and fights and she's very pro woman power. As soon as she got knocked out twice, suddenly she just disappears, gets married, pops out a kid, or getting pregnant, trying to pop out a kid. And I was a bit like, well, what happened to all your work ethic? What happened to all of this?
That almost went overnight.
Yeah, and I think,
wow, it wouldn't be a shame if it all turned out to be a horrible, great big fucking gimmick to sell some t-shirts.
Of course it was. And she did do some really good things as well, but I just think upstairs she's not too good at dealing with failure. And I think there's a lot of...
But there's a lot of big, a lot of famous fighters. Like my favourite one was Prince Nassim, who was one of my favourite boxers, and then he got badly exposed. Was it Manny Pacquiao? I can't remember. He got exposed badly.
His first fight in America.
That was it. He was done. Absolutely terrified him. And I think when you realise you're mortal, it'll either make you or break you, and I think that's probably what happened.
But then also as well, I do you know what? He probably up until that point earned enough money, went off, got fat, and enjoyed himself. I think there's certain fighters, like one of my favourite fighters, Nigel Benn.
Nigel Benn was phenomenal.
But he's punch as hell now. Ricky Hatton, you look at him, what he was doing.
Nigel Benn was actually my father's favourite fighter.
Really? Mate,
I remember. Oh, mate, I remember he was the Dark Destroyer, wasn't he? And I remember my dad telling me when I was a kid, you've got to see this guy.
Yeah.
Back in the days when I used to get excited about boxing and watching some videotapes of Nigel Benn, incredible.
There's a wonderful actual podcast out there where Chris Eubank talks about fighting Nigel Benn, and it's terrifying what he said with Ben, because he would just walk onto punches. It was obviously hurting him as well, but he just wouldn't stop. Like like some people have that spirit where they're just not going to stop, and apparently that was it. Was like all the technique in the world wouldn't work against him.
Yeah, he was an animal, man. He was an incredible fighter.
I still think there's some good boxing out there. I do watch it now and again, but I just think when
I try and get excited about boxing now.
It's not wrestling though, is it?
No, it's not. It's better.
I'm bringing this discussion back onto wrestling. How do they move forward with Ronda Rousey without alienating what they their women's division at the minute and what they have done to build their women's division as a standalone product to the men? Because I think that there is the potential there to do the female Brock Lesnar thing with Rousey, and that's what I think they should be doing. However, that's not what they're doing. They're turning it into a fucking sideshow. So, yeah, answer my question.
Stephanie McMahon has already slapped her, and even though Ronda Rousey sort of no-sold it, she still sold it. They wouldn't do that, and that just shows the McMahons have got their fingerprints all over it. I think they're bringing her in simply, but they don't. Apart from Lesnar, they don't seem to push anyone right.
I think she's going to be there for the long haul. I don't think she's there for the celebrity WrestleMania pop. I think she's, because the talk is that they're going to be looking at doing an all-woman tour and an all-woman syndicated weekly show.
Okay, well she's going to be the figure.
And that she'll be leading it. And I think if they do that, very brave. And worth a go, you know.
Well, they can do that because they've got the network, and they can do that without losing a whole bunch of money.
Your makeup, you look fucking...
Do I look like Alice Cooper?
I was going to say Siobhan Fahey, but you're right, it's Alice.
But yeah, but to your point, Tarnya, do you think that they've mishandled the women's division already? Because I think
they've mishandled it since day dot.
Yeah, I agree.
I have not liked the Women's Revolution rebrand. I didn't like the Divas. I didn't like the drop in the Divas. I don't like the way the belts look. I don't like the way that every single one of the female talent, bar two of the girls, are literally cookie cutters of each other.
Because you've already just said it, is it the real thing, or is it a gimmick to sell t-shirts? Right. And it's a gimmick to... right, okay, if it's wrestling at the end of the day, it's a business, so I think it's going to be a gimmick to sell merch at some point or make money. But... and this is the thing that I think is wrong with a lot of wrestling at the moment. Is it ringing true? Do I actually have real emotion? Am I invested in this, or is it just done to get a pop from the fans, or done to sell merch? Because if there's no, it's like when The Rock finally got over, when Austin got over with the Austin 316, that was spur of the moment, and suddenly that spawned that T-shirt because it was a real emotion that merch got worked off of. You weren't.
But there's nothing there's nothing organic anymore. There's nothing real.
No.
You know, there is, back then, even Austin says it himself on his podcast. He said, they went out there and he was allowed to hit the fucking, drop the F-bombs here and there, and, the off-the-cuff remarks that got him so over, but they're not allowed to do that anymore.
Well, this is one of the things you make the deal with. You need advertisers and stuff, but everything's hyper sanitized now. We were talking about this earlier on. If you haven't got, when you go to a show or anything, if you're seeking entertainment, there are certain boundaries, but you want to feel like anything can happen. When you watch the old 80s and 90s stuff, there's juice jobs, there's swearing, there's a believability that you're watching something that's wild and out of control. Now there's a measured tabled spot. Now there's a look to the crowd because Shawn Michaels done a look to the crowd in that spot 10 years ago. Everything is
it's very safe. Yeah, it's very safe, very pre-rehearsed, very safe. There's no part of it. Even they used the Elimination Chamber the other night. Even they've managed to make that not look dangerous anymore. Even that looks like a toy. Do you know what I mean? There's something about the old stuff that looked real and looked raw. Everything, like I say, over sanitised. It all looks thoroughly rehearsed. But anyway, going back to the point, I think she'll be good, but it'll. I think it'll outstay its welcome pretty fucking fast.
I agree,
because people are saying, that's going to be a shit match. Her and Kurt Angle against Triple H pulls a good match out of the bag once in a while. Stephanie McMahon won't wrestle. She can't wrestle. Kurt Angle can barely wrestle anymore. Well, she can probably actually wrestle better than anybody on the fucking roster.
You should see her running the ropes.
Is it bad?
Fucking hell.
But I mean, how many times does she need to run the ropes? She's a world class judo player. She don't need to, but she can grapple. Yeah. And of course she can fucking grapple, and I'm sure she'll do well with it.
Who she's going to be in there with, and
well, we don't know that
with the other girls, and that's all fine. But like, how are they going to work with that?
People are saying, "Oh,
you're going to get the Sin Cara."
People are saying some of the girls are not, are not happy with her being there.
But
and I think that's fucking stupid, because with her being there, there's going to be more eyes on the product, isn't there?
Yeah, and that's what you need to do. But I think the other big problem is with me as well. So, okay, so let's go back to the Brock Lesnar idea. Okay, so if Brock Lesnar had just come fully as an MMA fighter, he should have ripped through everyone. Never got when they brought him back the second time and he did that first match against John Cena. He looked genuinely dangerous. He looked out of control. You thought, bloody hell, he's even sacrificing himself. If they had brought Ronda Rousey in and she's going up against Asuka or whatever, what's her proper name?
Kana.
Sorry. Then it means something. They have that battle where she looks like a legit fighter. They're making a sell to Steph already and stuff. So I think already
they should have brought her in as face. For me, she should have been brought in heel. And if that's what you're going to do, and that's what you want to do, that product, have her tear her way through the fucking.
They've got that girl in NXT doing that, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly. There's already
that's done well.
Baszler. Yeah, exactly.
Sure, that's really good. That's really good.
That's one of Ronda Rousey's best friends. But I think, right, exactly what Tarnya just said there. Bring her in. I'm bigger than this. I'm in the UFC. I would earn millions. I'd earn millions a match. And she just starts going through the women, breaking their arms, and then eventually Kana's the only one goes, I can stop you. I'm undefeated as well. Build up for a year.
Phenomenal, yeah.
You can make money with that. And she comes in.
And I'd fucking watch that. That's amazing. Isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why we're not allowed to book WrestleMania. But
it's interesting, isn't it, that you're seeing a female Rumble, you're seeing a female Elimination Chamber. How long before we see an all-female main event at WrestleMania?
This probably is going to go against everything everyone thinks they know about me, but I am really fucking bored of seeing WWE female equivalent matches.
Yeah, it's even that in itself.
Because the gimmick should be gimmick enough, not the girls are doing it.
The girls are allowed to go on the climbing frame as well.
It's so patronising. And what they do is they don't actually ever bother fucking giving these girls any fucking time to teach them how to use these matches, and what you get is like best of the best spots delivered badly by people that don't understand.
In saying
how
that,
to do
it would be different though than if it was an all-female main event at WrestleMania, wouldn't it?
It depends. Is it organic? Is it integral? Because are they just going to watch all the other WrestleMania main events and just copy all the best spots from that? This is the biggest problem now. Is they're jumping on the bandwagon so many times they're starting to scrape their knees. If all you're going to do is go, now it's the women's time to do it. It's like blowing this little cheap fanfare, and it's just a main event. Don't say it's a female main event. Everything's history making. Yeah, because it's the first time male or female that is ever happening in WrestleMania as a main event. Just say it's the main event. But give me a reason for it to be a main event. Not just it's the women doing it. Oh, go women, look, they're just as good as the men.
I think that's what will happen though, isn't it?
It will be.
Listen, no, I don't think so. Because It
would be said though, the same reason as if, there was a first ever female president. It would be said just because it is. There's no way around it.
The thing is, they can't equivalent their women's product to the men's product until they take away the gaze of these women have to be sexy. And you need to see a few more. You need to see some different body types. You need to see some bigger girls.
Well, they got Nia Jax in there.
No, but
she's not.
She's
she's
not. She's just. But like, what you want is girls like Viper.
Paul McConnell.
But you want different body types for different stories being told. You want stories. You want stories for
shit ton of weight. It's incredible.
For the women that aren't. Oh well, there's two belts. Let's just constantly fight over these belts that are back and forth. Or you've got this boy. You're hanging out with this boy, and now I'm hanging out with this boy. So let's all fight over this boy.
But wouldn't you say as well? I'd say I agree with that about body types. But then you can actually pretty much turn that way to men now as well. You've got someone like Rusev who's slightly bigger, but where are the Earthquakes? Where are the Yokozunas? Where are the big brawlers now? Braun Strowman to a certain degree.
But you've got the heavyweights and you've got cruiserweights. You don't have that with the women. You don't
really have that many heavyweights though.
You do have some.
There are some, but like I said, proved that with WWE when they didn't know how to use what's the big
Kong? Awesome
Kong.
She got pregnant, though, didn't she?
Yeah, I know, but even before she got pregnant, they said they didn't know how to use her.
It's because they had nobody that could fucking work with her.
How could you not know how to use her? She's fucking incredible.
Well, I think my attitude is now, Austin, and when people have walked out on the product before, like when Goldberg and Lesnar did it the first time, when Austin took his ball and go home, whatever you want to call it, they became bigger than the product. So when they leave, it creates a lot of controversy. And I honestly believe WWE are clever enough now, no one's bigger than the product. So Rousey will lose a lot, she will be humbled, and she'll become a nothing, she'll become that mid-level sort of wishy-washy, because people are still tuning in, we're still watching it. Roman Reigns will never get the John Cena level of success because they don't want him to get it. It's very easy to do, and it's like the fans hate him, but there are ways to manipulate it, but they're not allowing anything to be organic and get a run with it, because they want the brand to be WWE. They don't want any one wrestler. They want them to be all interchangeable. They want that with the women, because what happened to what's her name?
But they can have interchangeability without it being cookie cutter.
Yeah, they could. They really could, but I don't think they want that, or they don't know how anymore. They haven't got the people to write it anymore.
I don't think they know, and I like I say, you said it the other week, didn't you? You said about, I said if there was all giants, there wouldn't be any giants anymore. But with the girls, there's a degree with the Stepford Wives syndrome.
So it's all hair extension.
I couldn't, they had that thing with the Rumble the other week. I couldn't. The only ones that stood out were was Molly Holly, and what's her name?
The old girls.
Bethany, the older girls. Because they look totally different.
I saw a thing that Stephanie McMahon has said with the Push This and the women's thing, and that they're creating more young female fans than ever. And it's just like, you're missing a fucking trick, because you can create far more without giving young girls these body fucking images that they've got to then contend with, because that's not what a strong woman looks like.
No, it's not.
A strong woman looks however the fuck she wants to look, and that's what you should be teaching them.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I think that the same thing was levelled in the UFC when they started pushing certain fighters as well. You've got like a really good fighter called Rose Nakajunas, who shaves her head. But they always still go on to about how pretty she is, and how when she has to do the photo shoot, she's always got to wear makeup and stuff, and she doesn't really want it. I think the only good one at the moment that I'm like, okay, she looks quite legit, is that Shayna Baszler, the one in NXT, who's the shoot.
Yeah, she was good.
She just looks. She may appeal. I don't think I don't think they've beautified her at all. I think she just looked like.
No, she comes out. She wears the gum shield. She just looks like just like a little street urchin.
Yeah, and she's got that stamp on the arm thing that looks decent.
Yeah, it does. It looks cool. Yeah. It's good.
Although they've killed that now.
Really?
NXT, they started the match with it, and the whole match was the babyface fighting up.
Oh, of course, she was fighting up and then got the win.
But it's like you've broken someone's arm. Why just use?
But it was a cool little move, and I thought she looked pretty good.
I think she'll carry on doing quite well. I mean, I think when Rousey turns heel, they'll probably team them up or give her like a little. This is what I wouldn't have even had Rousey fight. I would have had her get the whole 4 horsewoman gimmick in, like she had when she was in MMA, and she doesn't even fight people. Like, everyone has to go through the other ones to get to make her Ric Flair. You're not good enough. And when she goes in and does someone in about 5 seconds with the armbar. There's so much money you could make with her as a heel, but they only look at the merch side of it, whereas you can tune in to watch someone.
Who's going to want fucking Ronda Rousey merch that's like knock off Rowdy
Roddy Piper?
No, it's just fucking so shit. Just buy Rowdy Roddy fucking merch. Like, why would you want that? It's just
she's not
stupid. It's literally so stupid. Like, just have 2 sets of merch and make 2 sets of revenue. What?
And my other big problem with it as well, I understand she's got his nickname, but don't take the nickname of someone when you can't cut a promo. Especially one of the top promo guys of all time, and now she's there going, "Hi guys," it's like, ooh, this is not a good comparison.
Also, she looks like she stinks. And that's that.
I must admit, she never looks like her hair is truly clean.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Good nice
nice little intelligent end to that conversation. What else?
Greasy hair.
Snow? Any more snow news?
I'm done with this snow.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We're all done with the snow.
getting here tonight was interesting. I just love the way I more enjoy the way the media builds stuff up, and I love the way it is like the end times. It's a snow apocalypse.
Everyone's coming into my fucking shop banging on about this red. Oh, it's a red weather warning. Like, yeah, in fucking Scotland. And in case you notice, we're like the furthest point away from Scotland that you can physically get in this country.
Almost.
In London papers, in the Metro, the local London paper, they're calling it the Beast from the East.
Oh, yeah, no, they've been saying that nationwide.
We talked about this on the last episode about why everyone gives fucking Storm's gimmicks now. It's ridiculous. Snowmageddon!
Why is it called Emma? Oh, bollocks.
Well...
What would you call if you had to have a scary? Come on, this is a good question for you too. You have a scary storm coming. What are you going to call it?
Shakira.
Hell, that was sharp. I done it on Bill. What was the old woman from Terror Hawks called? Zelda.
Zelda.
Oh, there you go.
Hurricane
Zelda for me. It's not as good as Shakira. I've got to take second place. Oh.
Why does it always have to be a girl's name? Hurricane Paul.
Because women are scary.
There you go.
No, they do.
Hurricane Paul.
I'm calling it Paul.
Some of them are. There was Hurricane Andrew.
Hurricane Norman.
Paul.
Hurricane, Hubert.
WrestleManias.
Hurricane Gertrude.
What else in the news? We got
Shootings. That's funny.
There was another shooting today, wasn't there?
I know.
What's that? In America?
Of course, America.
Ain't they sorted that out yet?
They're never going to sort that out. It's ongoing.
It's my right to bear arms.
Tell us about your snake venom, Phil. You brought us down.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening in at home, that is not a euphemism.
I'll share a photograph for this actually on our Stiff Right Hand page.
Don't put up a photograph of Phil's snake venom.
Why not?
If you want to go to my WordPress, you can see all the snake videos.
No, not till you're again.
No.
Look at all Willie getting drowned. Tell us about the snake venom. Tell us what your present you've brought.
No willies were harmed during my arm.
And more's the pity.
Some willies were harmed.
I wanted to send your Willie to Nazareth and to get nailed to a cross. And then feed it bread. I don't know why I said that.
Did someone throw bread at Jesus when he was up on the cross? Eat something!
In my version, they did.
Here's a baguette. Cheer up, you bearded bastard.
Stop biting your nails.
Oh, that's a
so now, come on, about this
anyway,
snake venom.
yes,
Tell us about the lovely present you brought us back from Vietnam.
Technically, it shouldn't have been in my suitcase.
Would you rather not talk about
it? It's too late now. It's back in England.
Yeah, I was going to say, how the fuck did you get that back across?
Sneaky cockney.
Wow.
Yeah. It was inside me. No.
I don't
You're going to enjoy a taste of that, are you?
This drink's taken even darker to...
No, it was... So, one of the days we went on, the workers were drinking... So, they called it happy water, which is rice...
No shit.
Yeah, it's like rice wine. And then this one particular one, they say, the usual stuff for really strong man, drink it. And what's different with this one? And then I realised that loads of the bottles had taxidermy snakes in it.
Amazing.
But not only are they just sticking snakes in the bottle, they take the venom from the snake, mix it in a certain amount of it so it don't kill you, in with the rice wine. And when I was there as well, they said, do you want to drink some of the snake blood while you're at it as well? And I was like, fuck it, did it. And they were like, what did you think of that? And to be honest, it just tasted like a nosebleed. It wasn't the best taste of blood.
I hate the taste of nosebleeds. Immediately makes you feel angry, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like,
So it makes you taste that irony taste.
The one that I hate is when you get bumped in the nose and you start to cry and you can't stop. What are you crying for? It's like, I'm not crying. It's not a real cry. Now it's a
But no, we're going to try it tomorrow night.
We're all going to do a shot of snake venom. I've done a couple before and I didn't get virile, but it was decent.
We're going to do that, and tomorrow night we're going up to one of our new sponsors who has got a bar in Hastings called Crowley's.
Amazing.
Which is obviously based on Alistair Crowley, who died in Hastings.
Did he?
He did.
I did not know that.
Yes, he was in an old people's home in Hastings.
Oh.
And he's got a lot of followers in Hastings.
I love
so
that.
Alistair Crowley, my friend Matt Black, who runs the Black Arts Tattoo Studio. Shout out to them. They're sponsors of ours. And also Crowley's Bar in Hastings, which used to be Flair's. We're going to be going there tomorrow night for the big opening. Went there the other night to have a look round, and it's phenomenal.
Has it got like a lot of artwork from Crowley and stuff in it?
Mate, honestly, there's this wall. There's a portrait of Alistair Crowley, the one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's there on the wall.
I own.
And the bar is all done out. It's all done out in wood. There's it's a. I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of a cross mix between the Wild West and witchcraft.
Oh, mate.
It's wonderful. It's very, very cool.
You need extra points for that. That's a great sell. I own the Golden Dawn tarot deck. I've followed Crowley, a lot of his work, for a few years now. I'm not. When he talks about Satanism, I think everyone loves to paint it with the devil and you're taking evil on your side. And there are certain levels of Satanists that will give the whole, like they're almost like a spoiled child. So it's like, I'm so evil, I'm so dark. But what Crowley, in my mind, did a lot of was you take ownership of your own life and you don't rely on a magical old man in the sky that's to make things right for you. You control your own destiny. You decide your level of accountability in what you do, and if you want to follow something, they say everything is permitted. So he wasn't saying just go out and commit violent crime or abuse people, but he's also saying if you want to do anything, you shouldn't say there's any barriers to stop yourself, but be aware of consequences. And that's the teachings I got from him. And I think it's a much better way than any usual organised religion.
Yeah, a lot of people, scoff a lot of his stuff and said, "Oh, he was an old charlatan." And there's the photograph. I don't know if you've seen it. It looks like he's got the ectoplasm running from him, and it looks like an old neck curtain hanging from his fucking nose and what that. But a lot of that was just publicity shots. I should imagine early forms of.
I think he had a tremendous sense of humour. I think he took the piss out of himself quite a lot as well. He was one of the first guys I've ever known that did meditational breath work, which I do a lot of. He was a real massive fan of proponent of yoga, weightlifting, or martial arts, jiu-jitsu and stuff. He was very much about linking the mind to the body. Like I say, taking accountability for yourself and just experience as much as you can in this version of life. Tremendously inspirational guy. I think everybody who listens to this should actually knock the thing about, oh my god, he's the devil or whatever on his head, and actually read of what he's trying to say.
Well, it's so British, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's so British. But anyway, we're going to take a break right there and have a little word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Giving you your weekly dose of a kick in the nuts, this is Stiff Right Hand.
November 1802. John Jameson found himself stranded in the unforgiving forest of Carna, with an injured horse, a cart of his famous whiskey, and a pack of wolves even less forgiving than the aforementioned forest. Smoke billowed from the beast's nostrils as they closed in. Jameson was reluctant, but with his whiskey threatened, he had no choice. He took his dagger and plunged it right into a Kilkenny apple, using the slices to train that pack of wolves into a world-class dog sled team. The whiskey was saved, his horse recovered nicely, and Jameson even made it home in time for a lamb dinner.
Where have you been? Your dinner's cold.
But just as he feared, his wife saw the wolves and insisted they keep them. Old Jameson could be seen walking those wolves around Dublin for the rest of his days. Even though she'd promised they'd be her responsibility. Today's adventure brought to you by Jameson Irish Whiskey. Taste above all else.
This woman is working for the anti-terrorist squad. She just doesn't know it yet. One day soon, she'll see something that makes her suspicious. Because although terrorists, like anybody else, need somewhere to live and make plans, and need vehicles and people to help them, our woman will spot the behaviour that just doesn't fit in. She'll call the anti-terrorist hotline, and she will save lives. Like you, she is a member of the public. So if you have any suspicions, don't hesitate. Call the free confidential anti-terrorist hotline on 0800 789 321. That's 0800 789 321. Otherwise, your silence could be deadly.
BOLLUX. Does your business want to reach the parts others can't? Then why not try the Bollocks Directory, the most useless local reference source? Over 20,000 wrong numbers, a guaranteed 413 spelling mistakes on every page, wrong names and addresses guaranteed every time. The Bollocks Directory, guaranteed to fuck up your phone calls anytime.
Right, back here on Stiff Right Hand. We're in the room of doom. I'm here with Tarnya and avocados, top knots, gender fluidity. It's Philip Bedwell.
Hello.
And we've just been training, Phil.
We have.
So we've been talking about for years and years, and I finally took you down to the hallowed Zeus gym.
It was incredible.
And we trained shoulders and traps and introduced you to some of the funny weirdos down there. Did you enjoy it?
I missed my handstand push-ups and my smashed avocado sit-ups, but apart from that, no.
Yeah, I was gutted we missed them.
Saw the pain in your eyes. No, loved it. Just a quick thing about Zeus Gym. Anyone in the area, go and check it out. It's a proper gym and the place I love to sort of train at. All the equipment you could want. A whole nother side room which has got all of like I hate using the term functional equipment, but the whole stuff with rings and dip bars and monkey bars and stuff. Give it a try. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, there's a bit of something for everyone there.
And some amazing food as well.
It was nice to put you on some stuff that you'd never used before as well.
Yeah, no, it's just some really decent machines and stuff there as well. I would really recommend it. It was just got some shrugs in, work the shoulders like boulders. So yeah, enjoyable.
And tonight we got to go to one of our new sponsors. He's the man behind Black Arts Tattoo in Hastings, Matt Black, a good friend of mine. He's opened Crowley's Bar, which used to be Flair's in Hastings, opposite our other sponsors, Brass Monkey. So get on over and support both of those guys. What did you think of Crowley's?
I'm amazed that no one said Flair's and not gone woo yet, so I'm going to have to do it. Yes, I love the decor. I think it's going to become something very special.
He had to rush like fuck to get it open tonight. So from that sense, it was like, you could see there's a lot of stress, but there's a lot of effort gone into it. It's totally, obviously dedicated to Aleister Crowley, and it's a real nice theme pub. But I think it's going to take off. Yeah. Because if you can't make that work in Hastings. I'd be very surprised.
There's an absolute immense oil painting on one of the walls.
That's unbelievable, isn't it? I don't know if it's in one. Yeah, because I mean that's a very famous piece. I don't know if it is the original, but if it isn't, it's fucking well done.
Yeah, it really is. No, it's incredible.
It's about 10 foot high, and it's it's awesome. But
and a whole menu dedicated to gin, so you can't go wrong there.
Well, that was good for Tarn, and. Yeah, interesting. I stepped outside for a quick cigarette because obviously can't have a drink without having a cigarette, and kind of wished I hadn't. So I stepped outside for because and people in Hastings only smoke roll-ups, which they pass it to me, and I'm like, look, I've got sausage fingers and the shakes. I'm rolling up, so can you do it for me? This one girl just burst into tears, and my boyfriend, I don't want to hear it. On to the next guy. The next guy, within introducing himself, said, I'm going over to Florida to meet a girl who I've met online. She doesn't know I'm coming yet. I'm like, my name's Stu. So, telling him life's too short and to go for it.
Sharing is caring.
That guy's going to get chopped up and put in a fucking stew, isn't he?
Yeah, he's going to come back about his kidneys real quick.
That's going to be the fucking IT crowd scenario, isn't it? Where the guy fucking just wants to cannibalise someone.
Oh well, it was a nice life. Reach for the stars, man.
Yeah, reach for the stars. Tom, anything from you?
I was just saying what questions are coming in.
Oh, we got questions coming in.
I wasn't even listening to
questions. We're talking about men going to see women in other countries who don't even know they're coming on a whim.
I mean, I'm all for the reckless gay abandon of that, but who's going to get murdered? Like, I know it, you know.
Well, I said to him at the end of the day, the woman's brother's paying for it, and says she's been beaten up by all her exes. You seem a nice guy. I'm paying for you to come over, but he hasn't told his sister. So to me, the guy was like, well, at the end of the day, I'm getting a free holiday out of it. You might be getting more than that, brother.
If I was going to have to pay $500 to get a flight over there, but I know I'm getting like $8,000 worth of kidneys out of it, it's a fair trade.
And on his part, it's a 9-hour trip for a shag, so
gotta chase it.
Yeah.
That better be a hell of a shag, that's all I'm saying.
What else? We were discussing this, it's in the questions. Do you want to read out some questions there?
Just give me a second, because they are on multi-platforms and I'm struggling to keep up with them.
What about the Callahan one? We could start with that.
Well, that is one of the questions. We'll wait for that. I just want to thank everyone who's been tuning in. We've got new listeners in Russia, Japan.
Really?
Yeah, I know you're as surprised as I am. Russia, Japan. Where's the other one, Tan? Some ludicrous country.
Arigato amaramas.
Are you sure about that?
Bless you.
I hope so. Otherwise, we just lost it.
But no, we're within 6 hours of the podcast going up. We're already at over 3,000 downloads. So for 6 months worth of Sniff Around, that is very, very good numbers. We're topping out at between 6,000 to 8,000 a week now, and that's So thank all of you guys. And I like to think that's not just because you hope I'm going to be naming and shaming nonsense on a weekly basis.
We are going to do.
Well, we are going to keep doing that just to keep you on your toes.
We might insinuate who some of them are.
Well, that's what I meant to say. We didn't mention him last week. We met a lovely fan of the show when we were up in Gosport.
Yes.
What was his name? He's on Twitter under a different guise, but he was a lovely, lovely man, and he pulled us in the car park. So I just wanted to thank you for your show. Listen to it all the time. And I've got a feeling, was it Craig?
I feel like it's Craig. Let me find him exactly.
But I want to shout out.
But what a nice guy he was.
It was lovely just to speak to so many people. When you're at the show, I get as much.
Yeah, Craig at Downsy 1988.
That's it. Thank you, Craig, man. It was really nice to meet you, and it was lovely actually to speak to so many people that may not care for the wrestling, but love the show, and to me that brings me an immense amount of pleasure.
Well, what I'd say as well from a listener, like when I listen to the show, you are approaching things as, you have the sort of catchphrases and the funny jokes, but you both approach things from a sense of not trying to be the expert in all the fields. So when I'm listening to it, you're discussing topics sometimes away from wrestling about positivity, mental health, and you're getting these new impressions, and it's like changing my opinions about stuff as well. And that's it. You're learning, so the listener gets to learn as well. And I think wrestling is a good starting platform, but you take it so many other ways. You're learning things about life, and that's why I tune in every week. That's what's important about it.
Wrestling is the common neutral equaliser.
Yes. Yeah, wrestling will always be the thing that we come back to.
Yes, it is.
But ultimately, I want to talk about all sorts of things on here, and much like Joe Rogan does. With his show, I want it to be something like that, where we can talk about mental health, we can talk about fucking UFOs, we can talk about religion, we can talk about organised religion. I want to get, I want it to be a forum for everyone, and I don't want to change people's minds. I've got a right wing way of thinking, but I'm open to all sorts.
I think while I'm here, I've got to say the Earth is flat, the moon landing was faked, and God is love. And on that night, see you later.
I literally have never wanted to hurt him more than in that moment.
All day, listeners. Tanya's wanted to hit me in the face. Just saying,
it's becoming unbearable now.
Do you want to go to? We've got
talking about us being a forum and accessible and questions and opinions. So let's start with some Twitter questions.
Yeah.
So some of them are for all of us. Some of them are for you. Some of them are for me. Most of them are for me because I asked for them. So I'm going to end up interviewing myself, which is going to be weird. But let's start with question is, this is from Adrian Lloyd via Twitter. Hello, Adrian. He's a loyal supporter of the WW brand. Comes to all our shows. So Adrian would like to know, question is, which member of Unknown would you like to face first?
Well, Unknown, was that for you?
Well, I think we can...
Unknown's a very small faction so far. We've only seen... B-Ray and Cyrus, so you're assuming, and rightly assuming, that it's going to be bigger. So for me, one of my favourite matches that I had when I was villain was with B-Ray, in fact.
Oh gosh,
which was brutal. That was one of the ones where I had to really knock it out of the park to make people believe that I was villain, and it was only short. But it was good enough to make B-Ray's girlfriend at the time cry.
There was one visual from that match that absolutely always stays with me. It wasn't the DDT. It's when he was climbing up your fucking gear, trying to pull himself up on your knee pads, and you lifted him up by the chin and just fucking waffled him. I
loved it,
and it was horrific and beautiful.
Still one of my favourites, that, and so I'd love to I'd love to work B-Ray again. I like him. He's a good lad.
One thing I'd like, sorry to interrupt, but one thing I would like to pick up, really, you actually said there, it was short, and this is something that I'm bringing up time and time again now, that if matches don't hit a required length, then suddenly they're not as good. You can do a 1 minute punk song. If it gets the emotion going in you, then why does it need to be any longer? I think this is something now that's become, and it's something I'm guilty of in the past, that if a match doesn't I'm going there, sorry,
we've been there before.
Yeah, you know, like if it's not hitting an epic length, then you're not doing and I'm all about the epic length, but you know, it's like if you're not doing that, then suddenly it's not a good match. And for me, it's like, it means nothing. It gets the emotion in you. It can last 20 seconds. It can be a 20 seconds. This is what I miss squash matches. A squash match was designed to get the character over, and it could look brutal if it was Vader, or if it was Ultimate Warrior or Savage. It highlighted their athleticism, or the fact they'd throw loads of clotheslines, and the colours. These things resonate with me. It doesn't need to be 50 minutes for it to be a great match. In fact, some of these matches now are turning me off because they're just so long. I'm like, right, I've got to invest an hour in this, and it means nothing.
Well, the thing is, I wouldn't want to watch me for fucking 10 minutes. I wouldn't want to do that, and I don't expect anyone else to. But you know, I want people to enjoy the entrance. I want people to enjoy the intensity, and I want to get out of there so people say, oh, you weren't in there for long enough. I wanted to see more. If you want to see more, great.
You're coming again.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't want people to say, oh, fuck that. Do you know what I mean? And that's that. There are people that fucking go in there for a short time. There's people like, obviously, you and Tarn that can go out there and kill it for 20 minutes and keep the emotion high. There's something for everyone.
Gas though. One thing I'll say as well, while we're on the subject in B-Ray, when I was Playboy, Philip Bedwell, I had a great match with him over the St George's title. He was solid.
I'm glad about that.
Yeah.
Over Herne Bay.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see him back. He was really interesting to work with. How much can I pull back the curtain? Can I kayfabe it a little bit?
Go for it, man.
Well, there was one bit, so towards the end, I love just ripping off finishes, I guess. So I was doing a short arm clothesline into a DDT. Sorry, Jake. And he, for some reason, B-Ray took it on himself to duck the short arm clothesline. And I went, shouldn't have ducked it. And if anyone ever gets to watch this match back, you should try and get hold of it. The clothesline I follow up with it's quite the peach. But no, I've got nothing but good remembrance of that match. We went out there and he relaxed into it, and he was one guy that I just felt so.
The thing is, he knows he's got to fucking work hard again, because I mean, he didn't give the two fingers up to the business and say, right, I'm off to do acting and now I'm coming back. He didn't do that, but he knows he's got to kind of work his way back up again, and I think he's in a role now that he really enjoys, and he's working hard to do that. Yeah. So I've got time for everyone. We might have our fallouts and our disagreements and this and that, but at the end of the day, if you're willing to come back and work hard and listen and say, hey, I want to have another go, we can do that all day long.
Exactly.
Tom?
Do you want me to talk about B-Ray, or do you want me to answer the question?
No, we've spoken enough about him now.
Okay. Is that enough? Fuck him off. I would actually disagree with you, and I would go for Cyrus Shade, because I actually have a pretty good track record of choking out fucking factions by taking out their leaders. Right? Awkward. Oh. Next question.
Got really cold in here.
Yeah, next question.
Good tombstone, though.
So, Joseph Donovan would like to know if I've ever taken part in any arm wrestling matches. Wouldn't you like to know, you little pervert?
Well, have you?
Have you?
Well, let's have one right now. Go.
No. No.
Okay. So in that way, you morally won.
Yeah.
So no one's ever asked you for an arm wrestle?
No one's ever asked me for an arm wrestle, ever.
Would you like an arm wrestle?
No.
There you go. I won.
I've had loads of...
I'm not here to fluff your ego or anything else.
But I mean, moving swiftly on.
And good night.
I know the question was to you, but I've had loads. The amount of people who
you were talking about it, didn't you?
Yeah, the amount of people. I've got a very good friend of mine who's opening arm wrestling a fucking tournament thing up in Hastings. He's desperate for me to get involved with it, but my memories of arm wrestling is always drunk people come up to the pub saying, "Oh, you're all that wrestler, let's arm wrestle." I'm like, I'm not very good at arm wrestling, because it's all technique. However, we can go onto the cobbles and fucking have it outside. Because if you're doing this to impress your mates, we'll do what I'm good at. We'll go outside and have it.
I have become like, so when, like this, okay, you're talking about the technique. When I research a sport and I suddenly find the levels to it. Like, you can say boxing, it's only like 7 punches, but it's the way you link them together that makes it special, and the footwork and the tactics. Same thing with arm wrestling, which just 2 people clutching hands, but it's the turn of the wrist and the way you raise the elbow, the way you push through the shoulder. And I find it interesting, but it's just when people try and make it the ultimate thing, as soon as there's rules involved, or there's gloves being worn, there's always a limited set. So don't try and make it out that if you're a great arm wrestler, you're the king of
everything. To me, it's a little bit like the punch ball machine in the pub.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, when you put booze in it, it's all.
We can all fucking do that, but like I say, it's a lot of it's tendon strength, core strength, or whatever you want to call it. But I've been asked to do it loads, and I find it a bit fucking boring, if you want the truth.
But to the point, Sylvester Stallone in Over the Top, hell of a film.
Wasn't Terry Funk in that?
Yes.
When he was all gassed up.
Yep.
Your mother's a whore. Next question.
Listen. So, Tom Campbell via Twitter would like to know, if we're shipped to parts unknown for 6 months, what 3 luxury items would we all take with us? Are we going together or are we going separately? Can we just decide that we're going separately? Because I don't want to be in parts unknown with you two. That would stink, though.
Alright, well, Phil first.
No. Tarnya first.
Alright.
Listen, I have to do shit you say, so you first.
Okay. How quickly I folded. My Spotify playlists. Probably some really good hallucinogenics. And what would be the third thing? It's going to be books. I'm really trying to struggle to think what books I'd bring with me. There's a really good one I'm reading at the moment called by Sam Sheridan called A Fighter's Mind, which is tremendous. And I'm reading The Book of Dust at the moment by Philip Pullman. So they're the 2 books I'd bring with me at the moment as well.
Yeah.
I would take a empty notepad and a pen so that I can amuse myself by either writing stories or drawing. I would take some lotion because
put it in the basket,
because it puts the lotion in the basket, or else it gets the hosey. And also, I don't want shit skin in parts unknown. So you don't know who I'm going to meet there.
The Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, he might be there. You never know. Ultimate Warrior, Tom Hardy. Either way, serious business. So I need some lotion and probably some painkillers so that occasionally I can get a night's sleep. There you go. How middle-aged was that answer?
No, I like that.
As well.
I think notepad and pen.
That's a good one.
Definitely. Probably.
Because you can amuse yourself for fucking weeks.
Well, you'd want to write. You'd want to keep a diary, wouldn't you? You'd want to keep a diary, or
Day one in parts unknown.
Probably some good quality Class A's and a flashlight.
That's good.
Yeah, fair enough.
So a pen and paper, flashlight, and quality Class A's.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah,
yeah. No,
I'd make a sand woman and bury the flashlight in there and give her the best 30 seconds of her life every day.
That's quite a long time.
Yeah, give it a wash out in the sea. Easy. Next question.
Under the sea.
Okay, so Liz Moore via Facebook would like to know, this is one for me, do the drapes match the carpet? Yes, darling, yes, in colour and quantity.
Ooh.
There you go.
Stuart?
Just let that fucking sink in.
Yeah,
do you think I'm wearing fucking trousers right now?
To the knees.
Nope. To the ankles, mate. To the fucking
So she thought you had...
yeah, I've got half and half pubes.
Yeah. It's an interesting concept.
Yeah. But it's a different... It's opposite.
Yeah.
So I've got like right half red on my head, so obviously it's left half red.
You're like
on
a draft
my minky.
board or a chessboard.
Yeah, basically I'm the checkered.
I'll send her a picture later and show her.
Yeah, I'll send her one. I've already done it.
Right.
It's fine.
So I'm starting to go grey. You're flashing the silver fox look.
Yeah, big time.
Do the carpets match the pubes?
No, they don't. They just can't match the pubes. No, that hasn't started going grey yet.
Yeah, I've had that as well. Like, maybe 2 in my chest hair, but that's it. I'm still waiting for it to...
Yeah, my chest hair's starting to go, but I haven't run my nuts yet.
No, but I only started sprouting armpit hair when I was 37.
Send help, I'm here against my will.
No, I hate the colour of my pubic hair. It's neither one thing or another. It's not dark, it's not light. It's like
it's mousy.
It's lies.
Yeah, it's just shit. It's just pointless. My pubic hair.
Anyway, let's move on.
It's a brown cloud. But when men shave all their pubic hair off, I've witnessed this.
Yeah, that's creepy.
It looks so weird.
That's
You're a serial killer. Let's be honest.
Yeah, last chicken at Sainsbury's. Next.
Okay, via Facebook, Victoria Cornford. Hi, Victoria.
Hello. Lovely little
she
Victoria.
is lovely. She'd like to know, what advice would you give yourself as a teenager?
Oh, fucking...
Oh,
wow.
I will start with this one, and I would say to myself as a teenager, stick fucking in there, because you don't even know what you are capable yet. And the moment you realise it, is the happiest you will ever fucking be. And no one will ever hurt you again. And then you'll be able to use this fucking wonderful strength that you found to help people that are like you. And be the person that you always needed when you were a child. And that will become your fucking mantra. So be the adult that you needed when you were a child. And that will give you comfort every fucking day. And that's what I'd say. I say, you're gawky now, but you're going to be fucking hot in 10 years' time. So just chill. It's fine.
It's actually a really good question. And in a way, I did get a chance through a certain situation I was in to, obviously it was all just in my head, but speak to my younger self. And I think, obviously, in saying this,
we might need some context there, mate.
I was at an ayahuasca ceremony where, you know, whether you think it's just the drugs making me trip balls, or I'm actually in contact with myself, or whichever way you want to take it. I could do a whole podcast on this. One time I will, if Stuart wants to talk about it. But for me, it's sort of like when I'm talking to my younger self, I think it's almost talking, if anyone young is listening to this as well, like, God, I know I'm sounding my age now, but when you're 18, 20, I think from when you're a late teen to your mid to late 20s, you're wasting time because you're worried what other people are thinking, and now even more so with social media, you're trying to justify yourself to the world. I need to look like this in a certain way, I need to buy this, I need to be wearing this, I need not to be missing out. And I would honestly say to my younger self, stop trying to fit in. Stop feeling guilt. Stop feeling guilt for liking things that aren't cool. Trust in yourself and understand that everyone makes mistakes. No one wakes up in the morning and wants to do something wrong, but everything you're going to do is going to lead you to a wonderful place. So stop feeling regret and just let certain things go. If certain things have happened to you in your life, or you've made certain decisions, understand that you can better yourself in the long run. So just don't keep doubting yourself and stop hating yourself. I think
exactly what I was going to say as well. I think the main thing is it doesn't matter.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you fuck your GCSEs or you fuck your A levels. I fucked most of them, so I was looking out the window and acting a tit, and too busy selling bootleg porn around the back of the Happy Eater, and I'm earning a good wage, I've had a good life, and I'm doing what I love. Basically it doesn't matter. And the other thing is, what's really important as well is I always found out that the really popular kids at school, they burn out the quickest.
Yes, they do.
All the popular kids at school now are those kids who have grown into adults and are like, oh my God, you're still a wrestler, you're a wrestler, because they want you to be their subject matter down the pub that night. Oh, I know that person. Hold on, was it?
Yeah.
And like I say, I was definitely an in-betweener at school. And like I say, I went off to do that, and it makes it so much more. But all the like I'd say, the popular lot, or the sporty lot, or the jocks, or whatever you want to call them, they're the ones that had kids young, burnt out, and did fuck all.
I'm gonna add to this really quickly. So one of the best bits of advice I ever got was, people that are naturals in life at anything, they never appreciate it because they just get it. It just comes to them naturally. Okay. And the thing is as well, people that were almost driven by their parents to get the house, to get the job, to get the kid, or that have just they knew what they wanted to be from a very, very young age, and they're just driven towards it. They always exactly what you said. They always messed up. They always burnt out. So if you're listening to this now and you're young, and you've got a passion or something is resonating with you, and it keeps cropping up in your everyday life, and you're like, that interests me, no matter what your friends or your social group is saying, they look at you and go, oh, that's weird, why are you doing that, why are you into that, there's something wrong with you. Fuck it, follow it, because there's something speaking to you, and only you can control your life. And stop judging yourself or trying to judge yourself by other people's standards, because as you say, 10, 20 years down the line, you become the one that followed what you wanted to do, you're passionate about it, and suddenly everyone wants to know you, as opposed to trying to fit in and trying to just become part of the crowd. Never follow the crowd. And this is where I think all the stuff with being gender fluidity or like being true to yourself is coming from. That be that individual. You don't have to then suddenly push yourself so far from an individual to fit into another tribe. Just be yourself, follow yourself, and then you'll actually become a much better person because of it. But be strong, don't let go.
I would add that people that are weak and people that are afraid will tear you down, and they will ridicule things that you care about and that you love and that you're passionate about. They will ridicule you because you're different and because you're strong in different ways to them. Okay? And that's okay. And what you have to do is just kind of accept the process and just go with it and let it become an armor, because it will prepare you for fucking life in a way that like you won't even fucking understand until your armor is formed, and nobody can fucking ever penetrate it again. And whilst it seems like it's bad, and whilst it seems like you're the black sheep and you don't fit in, like it just means that literally there is something more that you have to do, and that you have to go through the struggle to prepare yourself for it. So like never ever be disheartened. Never ever be disheartened. Get up, show up, kick fucking ass.
And one last thing as well, your worst critic, the worst stuff you'll ever hear comes from your own voice inside you, and I like to call it jerk brain. You will think of things that have happened in your life. You will be considering trying a new hobby or doing something that you've never done before, and you will think of everything bad that could happen to you, and none of it ever really happens. So if you're getting that voice come to you, fucking flip the script on it. Oh, everyone's going to laugh at you, everyone's going to think you're weird. But no, don't take that. Say, I'm doing something individual. Start using that voice to motivate you as opposed to demoralise you, and you'll be everything you're scared of. The worst thing you can ever do is give up on yourself. If in that moment you doubt yourself and give up on yourself, just walk through the door, make the email, make the phone call, do whatever you need to do, but go and do it. And then if you do one session of it or give it one try and you don't like it, then fair enough, but at least you've tried it. Never ever talk yourself out of it, and never ever let someone else control what you want to do, ever.
Good.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Good question. Good question.
Yeah, it was a good question.
Liz More Bazaars would like to know, does Junkie wax or shave his huevos?
His what?
Huevos. Means eggs. Man eggs.
I think he should.
Testicles. I think he's probably had his hair fucking replaced. Like he had a bit cut off his arse and stuck on his bollocks.
The thing is with old Junkies,
because
he's ginger, his body hair is very, very light anyway and very thin. And I should imagine.
Listen, we've seen his bollocks, and I don't remember them being airy.
No, they're very pink and very new.
And like not used.
Yeah, I've got a feeling.
Like out the packet testicles.
I can't say too much about Junky's bollocks, but I do remember one time he tried to pick me up for a choke slam, and rather than letting me jump or lift me by my throat, just did the wedgie part. And
I remember that. That was hilarious.
He broke the tights up. That killed my scrotum. That was like some of the worst pain I've ever felt. So thanks, John. But I think he's probably waxed his eggs and stuck it to his forehead.
I gave up shaving myself after I reached 23 stone, because I started realising there's places now I can't reach, and I just gave up.
The best thing I ever did was turn heel and grow my chest hair, because fuck that noise. I hated waxing my legs. One of the reasons I retired.
I think everyone looks, all guys look better when they've shaved up, but I've just realised now I don't give a fuck if it looks like I've rolled in a dead cat on my back. Do you know what I mean? I'm the British beast. Fuck it.
I actually don't agree with that. I think body hair's making a comeback, and I think men look a lot. When the whole metrosexual shave and everything come out, like now, back in the day I did it, but now it just looks sort of weird. When you're like a 20-something man and you've got no chest hair. It just looks something very weirdly
under the arms, obviously. Because
everybody grows hair. Who gives a fuck? Unless you're wrestling me, don't put me in a fucking headlock.
Exactly.
If you've got
I always say that to the
long
students.
hair,
I'm always like, get rid of that
disgusting.
shit. Because if you got someone in a fucking headlock and you got stragglers like fucking. Fatima Whitbread's minge hanging down.
It's like
nice.
Do you know when you went to your grand's house in the early 90s and she had that door curtain that was all different bits of like fucking white ribbon? When someone that's got armpit hair puts you in a headlock, it's
and
like
you get the sweaty curtain.
It's fucking. No one wants a sweaty curtain. I'm telling you.
Yeah, even if your personal hygiene's top level, hairy underarms are minging.
Yeah. Right, listen.
I think we can all agree on that.
Bamberry Bardener.
Who could this be?
Well, don't know. I've never fucking heard of him. But it's called Bam today. He wants to know, originally, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? And my answer is 27, obviously.
I was going to go for, well, it depends what ply. Are we talking ply? If it's ply, then 6.
The number 23.
Okay, there you go. So, Liz, again, Liz is fucking bang on this, let me tell you. She wants some attention. So,
yes,
so ignore that question.
Right, this is actually a very good one. She has it on good authority that Antonia Inoki has Roughneck on speed dial. Is this true?
It's a joke.
Do you want to take this
That's
one?
because we used to rip Keith and like fucking the Japanese promoters to phone her up for bookings.
I used to do it off of my phone because I didn't give him my number. Many a trip to Norwich. In the back of the car, fucking stuck on a fucking delayed motorway, like bullshit. We're like, what should we do? Should we just phone Keith and make up a booking?
God.
So yeah.
Yes.
Yes, he does.
Yes,
That's
he does.
True. Liz would also like to know, how did I learn to cook? I'm a witch.
She is.
Kachowski sent us in a question.
Go on.
Check this out. So this is from Cheyenne Machu Kachowski.
Some names coming up here tonight.
I'm telling you. She'd like to know, listen to this.
Go on.
Wrap your minds around this, bad boy. A penguin walks through the door right now and he's wearing a sombrero, right? What does he say and why is he here?
Well, that's one for you.
Right, so he's going to walk through the door wearing a sombrero. For me, he's going to be like, "Hey, bonjour," right? Which is like, why are you talking to me in French and wearing a... Like, this is mixed signals, Mr. Penguin. But do you know why he's here? Because he's here to party. He's a fucking party penguin and he knows where the good times are at. So he's in the room of doom. He wants a cup of tea. He knows I'm going to sort him out with some biscuits. He's like...
And that's a party.
Yeah. French penguin. Yeah.
I can't add anything to that.
No, you can't. Shall I find some others? Okay.
Yeah, that's actually stunned silence there, everyone.
Luke Jennings, via Facebook, would
Go,
like
Luke.
to know, what are our thoughts on the Sammy Callahan / Eddie Edwards baseball bat TNA incident that happened recently?
That was on TNA?
Is it a work shoot or carelessness from both parts?
Right. How can you carelessly lay there while a baseball bat hits you in the face?
I'm sorry, how can you throw a baseball bat how can you swing a baseball bat and not see that your opponent's not fucking covered? So that chair was on his fucking chest. There is no fucking way, the way he was fucking around with that chair, that it was ever going to cover his face. No. And I'm sorry, what he did was a fucking liberty to me. Yeah. And if that had been me, I'd have fucking done his face for it. I think that's an outrageous liberty.
The thing is, for me, I could see what happened. The guy was fucking around with the chair and it made it look phony. So he was hoping he was going to get it there in time. And rather than waiting, it's like Jim Cornette had the problem and said, look, you didn't let it register with the crowd, you rushed. What he did was, the guy was fucking around with the chair, he was embarrassed and threw it, and he, without regard for his opponent, he just cracked him in the face. Yeah. And Cornette said, you should have been fucking fired. He turned around and said, oh, Jimmy, that really hurts, I'll just go and count my bank account. Making out like, oh, I'm an indie guy, I get paid a shit ton of money.
Why is that the fucking go-to for these little shit indie guys that ever get called out on stuff? Like, I'm sorry, we're all making money, but some of us are doing it fucking safely.
And I'm going to argue this as well, right? What are you leaving for the business? My attitude, one of the things I was always drummed into me, and when I finished up, you wrestle a match, you make your opponent look better than they were before they walked in the ring. You finish off in the business, you give back, and you leave the business in a better shape, hopefully, than when you first came into it. Now, we did the whole ECW thing where we had like the barbed wire matches with Sabu and Terry Funk, the flaming barbed wire, Cactus, Mick Foley, Mankind throwing himself off the top of the cell and then carrying on a match, right? All these things were heavy bumps. But in the heightened world of wrestling, I could still believe that this match would carry on because the characters have been set up. Now, I don't know too much about Callahan and the other dude, but I do know that they didn't look like two hardcore brawlers. And also, in the context of a blood feud, if I, at any point, want to swing a baseball bat into your face, I want to kill you. And then we've gone to a point of, we've actually gone past wrestling now. We've gone past that it's an athletic contest, all being a blood feud or a street fight. You're taking it to a point where you're trying to stove my head in. I didn't like it when Triple H used to do the hammer shot to the face, because I'm like, well, how do you come back from that? I think it's too much. And it was a moody spot, done badly, which led to a horrible injury. And I'm just like, think about the context of why you're doing stuff, guys. And all right, from someone who isn't wrestling for TNA and isn't counting his bank account, but I do have a passion for this business.
I mean, so like, don't you have to draw to be able to pay your wrestlers?
Yeah, you know, and it's like, but I don't care if you're wrestling in front of 20 people or, you know, you're on WrestleMania. Give a fuck about the business. If you're swinging a baseball bat for someone's face, whether the chair's in the way or not, what story are you trying to tell with this?
Does anyone know like the actual context of this match? Like, was it a one-off? Are they in a feud? Like,
I don't
what was
think
the
they're in a feud.
Was that just a match? So that happened in just a match.
It was TNA, so
all right. Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Who gives a shit?
Okay. If you both could choose a different sport or martial art, etc., what would it have been and why? That's from Andy Mapes Maplesden via the old Facebook. That's your mate, isn't it?
Good mate of mine, Andy.
Good question.
Oh, blimey. If it was a sport, believe it or not, when I was in my early teens, I was very good at tennis. Played county for Oxfordshire. And I also played in golf for Wycombe Wanderers, and so probably goalkeeper or and golf as well. My father was a touring golf professional, and I was the first one to fuck the family lineage up by not becoming a pro golfer. So yeah, golf, tennis, or football for me.
Well, I tried karate. It was specifically Shotokan karate. I am not good with all of that fucking discipline. I do not want to know how to do all of the moves in a dance fucking sequence. I just want to know how to fuck shit up. So probably I should have stuck with gymnastics.
Oh, in a horrible turn of events, I studied Wadaru karate and got a black belt in it because I did like the discipline and wearing the cute little outfit.
You like doing what you're told.
Anyway, so now I'm actually doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, specifically no-gi, submission style. I love it. I genuinely love it.
Was it Shotokan karate, the Bruce Lee's one?
No, that's Jeet Kune Do.
Jeet Kune Do,
yeah.
You're not giving a shit about it then.
No, but do you know what? If MMA had been around when I was finishing off with karate and doing a bit of boxing and stuff, there's a good chance I would have gone with it. I've always liked it, but then I think I would have missed out the performance aspect of wrestling, so I probably would have done wrestling anyway. But yeah, I like doing my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Another sport. I was always crap at team sports, so yeah, let's just say Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'd have probably ended up with loads of concussions and a buggered up body anyway, so yeah, it's what I do well.
Right, Keith Colwell wants to know on behalf of Liz Moore, what's
Good
going
name.
on there? Oh, I'm suspicious.
A winning score at Scrabble.
Listen, they want to know, do vegans swallow? I saw loads of vegans swallowing today. I was making them swallow. Dirty little vegans.
With their low vitamin B12 swallowing.
I know, fucking. And they were loving it.
Do vegans swallow?
Phil, you fucked enough vegans.
Yeah, Phil.
Anyway, thank you very much.
You're a shady bitch, Linda.
No.
You're a bitch, Linda.
I don't say much, but when I do, it counts.
No. That's the answer.
Amazing.
R.I.P.
You think vegans would love mushroom soup as well? Oh.
There was a joke made earlier on, which unfortunately won't prove to, made about a mushroom head, which I'm still laughing at.
Oh, shit.
Well, that will get spoken about off air, but
hell.
someone didn't know what Mushroom Head had a double meaning for.
One of my little girls at work, we were all walking down the high street together after we finished a good day.
She wanted to make a mushroom
in
head.
the office, and she was like, "Tan, how do I make a mushroom head?" And I just looked at Phil helplessly.
It was just the eye contact, and it was just instant.
How do I make a mushroom head? What? Is she finishing that sentence, or
no? Just
how do I make it spit?
How do I make a mushroom head?
How do you make a mushroom head? A firm grip and a happy face. And don't be a vegan.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Don't ask me, kiddo. Yeah, so...
any more questions?
Keith would like to know, all by himself on his onesies, when being sucked off by a ring rat and you're in a hurry, is it acceptable to wipe your mighty mallet, that's what I call mine, on the entranceway curtains, asking for a friend? Tell your friend, Keith, that if you refer to your dick as a mighty mallet, it's neither mighty nor a mallet, and we both know that.
I've never been a fan of self-appraisal either.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're fishing for compliments, then maybe you want to dip your line elsewhere, mate. And here's another thing, like, nobody calls fucking girls that want to bunk up with wrestlers ring rats. In fact, we call... I shouldn't finish that sentence.
No, I can happily say I've never been with a fucking...
yeah, if you do that, that's just nasty.
Yeah, I've never been with a fan, ever.
Yeah.
Me either. And, no, I wouldn't wipe them on.
Do you know what we call the male equivalent of ring rats?
Go on, Philip.
Just men.
Yeah, no, and that's fair enough, actually. I wouldn't wipe my dick on any curtains.
Please don't wipe your dick on the curtains. That's just bad manners, isn't it? That's just fucking unsanitary.
Have you got any more questions there? Because I've got a really long one from
No,
Craig.
One more.
I've got fucking a whole bunch. Liam, via Facebook. Liam, you pile of washing bastard.
Piss off, Liam.
Do some fucking work.
I'm substantive.
Liam wants to know...
Why is Philip stolen my job?
No, it doesn't. He doesn't give a shit about you. He wants to know,
does.
Did Stu have to do cross-country in the snow?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Cheeky cunt.
Let's just bash through these. Little Violet, my Bellatrix buddy. Little Violet O'Hara would like to know, what's the 5 most generic entrance musics of all time?
Oh, my God.
Oh, the Hardys. Just because it doesn't break.
I know. What's that Rob Zombie track?
What, Dracula?
Not Dracula. I might be in a Dracula, actually.
It's Dracula.
Well, I always like more Human and Human.
What's the other one after Dracula on that same album?
Living Dead Girl.
Yeah, Living Dead Girl, that.
Oh, you're like every girl.
Every year. It's like...
At least in my Rob Zombie phase, it was Spook Show Baby.
It's a good song.
Rammstein?
Joan Jett's Bad Reputation.
That just does not sound good. I know she needs to use that in WWE.
We use that for Maddie.
I disagreed that we should give Maddie.
Yeah, but...
Just for the record.
L7.
Chris Walker.
Much better.
Chris Walker would like to know, if you could go either New Japan, Ring of Honor, TNA, Impact or WWE, which one would you choose and why? Well, mine won't be TNA.
WWE in the late 80s, early 90s, just because, or UWF in a similar time frame.
I want to go to Japan because I want to work with girls that are better than me.
New Japan in the late 80s, so I could have chased a load of Japs around the hall like Bruiser Brody.
Yeah.
Sick. Okay, cool. Right.
Probably, yeah, all Japan, similar sort of time as well. Kobashi, Steve.
Is that even a thing anymore, or is that gone?
Nah, it's all fucking indie bollocks now.
Right, what you got?
Well, this is a long one. From,
Ooh!
Oh, no, that's...
Does it involve curtains?
No. Where are we? Okay, well, I did...
Bless you.
The last 20 years we've seen the evolution of equality for all and all the hard work that's been done for race, sexuality, women, disabilities, which will never stop, which can only be a good thing. And it's all been good progress. But the millennial generation seemed to promote individuality and equality. But in the last few years, with this non-binary and gender fluidity and such, we can't say this. We can't say that. We can't call someone this or that. You can't put a label on this or that. We can't do this, we can't do that. It seems from where I'm sitting that we're going backwards by trying to go forwards because everyone wants to label themselves as different and it's causing more divisions. Just as it seemed we've learnt to all walk together, it's like someone's thrown a load of marbles at our feet. What are your thoughts? Good question.
Thank you, George R. Martin from Game of Thrones.
I'm going to start by saying that actually wasn't the millennials. This started with political correctness.
Yes.
This started with, you can't say this, that's not okay.
I'm offended.
That can cause offence. I think that there's a lot of things to factor in because there are genuine cases where people are agender or whatever and aren't using it as a as a gimmick, people that are medically born in the wrong bodies, and we have to accept that, and that's fine, and that's great, and we're all people, and that's fine. This culture, however, I do want to move on to this culture of being offended is a thing for me, because it's like, for me, I believe that everything is up for fucking grabs. So you can make a joke about anything, or we can make jokes about fucking nothing. Okay? It's got to be everything or nothing. You can't fucking choose. Like, you can't choose, like, it's like okay to do this, but not this. Like, we can't have all these fucking rules. Like, we can have law. We can't have all this fucking social posturing and this fucking, what is it? Virtue fucking signalling. Yeah. Okay, and what this is just that it's become incredibly fucking fashionable for people on their social media to be like, no, well, I know that you're offended about this, but I am much more offended. Like, you as a man do not understand how offended I am as a woman about this. Like, we're all just fucking people trying to fucking get along. We're all just like fucking living things on a planet that just generally, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't matter for fucking shit. Okay, so there's perspective. I think that we need to stop fucking worrying about the things that make us different and worry about the things that make us the same. And we're all fucking human. We're all different. We've all got a fucking gimmick. And by the way, guys, that's a really fucking nice way of saying that, do you know, we're all special and none of us are fucking special.
Yeah.
Okay? We've all got something. Whether it's like, hey, you know, you identify as both genders. That's fucking great. I'm a woman. I identify better with guys. Right? Doesn't make me any crazy fucking gimmicks. And I think that we need to, as a society, not be so fucking quick to jump on our youth and be like, okay, well, if you feel this way, you better take hormone treatments, blah, blah, blah. Because I'm going to tell you now that no female from experience, no female from the age of fucking 12 to 19 wants to be a woman. Okay, because it fucking sucks. You have to learn how to have your period. Your nipples fucking hurt. Boys are dicks. Women are dicks. Everyone's a fucking dick. Bras hurt. Your periods fucking hurt. Everything hurts and it's shit, and everything makes you sad, and everything makes you cry, and everything makes you fucking fat, and you can't do this, and you've got to do this, and you've got to look like this because then you're not attractive, and you've got to be seen to like these things because then you're not attractive, and it's just fucking shit. Why can't we all just do what the fuck we want to do and stop worrying about this bullshit? Like, do you know, I love who I love, and it's not anything to do with fucking whether they're a boy, whether they're a girl, whether they're offended by what they love. Like, I love what's attractive to me is humour. And the ability to fucking laugh and resolve is fucking so attractive to me. Like, if you can fucking go through some shit, come out fucking stronger on the other side, yes to you. And just like, do you know what else is fucking attractive? Wanting to learn and wanting to be better. 100%. And fucking wanting to carry on by making yourself a better person and helping everyone around you. Like, that shit's forever, that shit's eternal, and that shit is fucking power. And that's what we should be worrying about, and not worrying about like, oh hey, well, you know, I've got unicorn hair today and I'm a vegan, and actually like I feel like I want to be a guy. Like, I want to be a fucking guy. I wish I had a fucking dick. I'd be a hot guy.
We spoke about this earlier on.
We did. We had this conversation earlier on, but it's just what is important is that we remember the one unifying fucking thing about all of us is love.
Right, yeah, and do you know what? I can't add very much to this, but being exposed to a lot of these conversations recently about privilege, gender identification, being a white heterosexual male, it's like, will I ever understand?
Are you white?
Last time I checked.
You white, then you're Ben Affleck.
Oh, Christ. Oh, fair enough. I'm being Ben Affleck. But, you know, when I will never know what it is to be a minority. I'll never know what it is to be persecuted for the colour of my skin. I will never know what it will be to be persecuted for my sexual orientation. I will never know what it will be to be a different gender and be persecuted and not fitting in. So, for me, it's like, now we can talk about this. And you know what? As your individuality, I will respect that 100%. If you want to carry that forward and make passionate political pleas and try and get yourself recognised, that's great. But more importantly, more than the grand scheme of things, spinning your wheels, railing against the political parties, let's just try and help each other on a smaller scale. Let's have these conversations. And like Tanya just said, let's just love each other. Because if I know you in a social group, I'm going to pull you away from Facebook and just try and meet you one-on-one and say, look, I love you, I care about you. Let's spread joy into each other's lives. Because we're not here for very long. We're not gonna, and I hate to break you guys, as much as you feel like, oh, what I do is gonna live forever. It won't. In about 100 years, no one's gonna give a shit.
Yeah,
no one's gonna remember you. And if they do, it's just an echo of you. So why does it matter? In this time you're here, love as many people as you can, and just get on with as many people, and understand as much as you can. Learn, enjoy it, experience. And like we were saying earlier on with the whole thing about not just following the tribe. What's really bad for the youth now is they get exposed to so much information so quickly they can't form their own opinions. And if they are forming an opinion, it's getting
rewritten. It's hive opinion.
Yeah, within weeks they've got to fit in this tribe. So you're just having to fit into more and more tribes.
I remember how fucking awkward I felt, and I would hate to be a kid now. I know that makes me sound fucking...
Listen, we're all very lucky.
Hold on, that makes me sound horrendously fucking old, and I remember people saying that to me, but I would have the pressure.
Oh God, yeah.
I would fucking, I would fucking hate that shit, man. And hats off to all the kids out there. We've got some, who are in touch with us after obviously all the stuff that we've been doing, and I think kids now have enormous fucking pressure on them, and it's fair play to them all, man.
We didn't have this fucking social media documentation of all of our shit when we were younger. Like us three, we're very lucky that I wouldn't want to have to live with fucking who I was like 20 years ago. Shit, but for me, it just boils down to, if you're one of these people that uses differences to posture, like, oh, you're a vegan and I'm not a vegan, like, oh, you're this and I'm not this, so you're a terrible person. Like, it is literally about live and let live, and not allowing yourself to become a bully because people are gonna believe different stuff to you. That's just that. Okay, people are fucking gonna think different things to you. People are gonna have different opinions to you. And do you know what? Opinions are like fucking arseholes. Everyone's got one, but I don't want to see yours in my fucking face unless I've asked for it.
Do you know what? There's this. If anyone's got Netflix or can get hold of it, there's a Dave Chappelle comedy special he's done recently. He's actually done a bunch of them. This thing relates to the Me Too movement, and it's the most perfect argument I've heard, where he goes that if everyone is just barrying against each other and you just hate all men and go, you're all abused, he goes, the pendulum's going to swing the other way. It's all going to go back against women again, and it's going to be much worse this time. So he says something about, he goes, you're going to have to make friends with a lot of imperfect allies. Now that means, let's just take the vegan thing for instance. If I meet someone who's a vegan and they are massively vegan and they're like, meat is murder and I can't believe you're killing animals to feed yourself, right? Now, there's a jumping off point. Is it a hard limit? Can they say, right, I can never be your friend because you eat meat? Or you're like, well, you're not trying to tie me down and force a burger into my face, and we have a lot in common and I like you and I respect you. So that's when we become imperfect allies and we're friends. It's getting those connections at the end of the day. How much are you willing to put your values to not like... Because you know what? There's only one person with your values, and that's you. So if you want to sit by yourself for the rest of your life, you're going to have the perfect company of one. Or do you actually have to throw some of this to one side and go, you know what, we've all got to just try and get along the best we can?
I'd say that.
So it's a...
Go on.
Can I just ask one question really quickly?
No.
No, what's the most generic ring music of all time? You two, quickly, go. What's your favourite ring music of all time?
Mine.
Really?
No. It's Undertaker's, but like the funeral dirge one.
I like when he come out to Johnny Cash's song.
That was fucking sick. That was cool. But it's the old school funeral fucking just because that's nostalgic to me, but also like that puts me back in that fucking frame of mind where like I'm gonna believe everything that happens. Yeah. Like that just takes me to a fucking sweet place that wrestling just can't do for me anymore. That music does it. Absolutely. Absolutely.
What's that?
Best ring music of all time. It's a tricky one.
The Warrior.
Yeah.
I've got that. Recently,
just for me, because the fucking the symbol and within. Do you know what I heard recently, which was really good? Do you know what I heard recently that was fucking awesome that I loved? And it's not a great podcast. Sean Mooney does one.
Okay.
And he did one with the guy who did all the music.
All right.
And it was phenomenal. And
Jim Johnson.
Right. And it was fantastic. And do you know what he said? Which I don't know if you ever noticed about it, because he did the Undertaker's theme.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when he adapted it and it started going a bit more melancholic, he did it because he said he realised that why is he the Undertaker? Something sad must have happened to him for him to be that way. So that's why he halfway through it, it's got that slight, that. And he said about the music now. He said, music doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything, but back then the music used to make them.
That was the Warrior.
Yeah.
When he came out. So for me, it was always...
Or Iron Man with the LOD in Japan.
Yeah, that's fit perfectly. For me, actually, recently, I really love Bobby Roode's. I really like...
do, actually.
I used to train to that Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yes!
I love that. When all the Billies sing along to it, I don't like that.
Yeah.
But,
I love
that.
love that they do that, because that's so fucking... That's
the
a
way he
something that
dances
he
to
had.
it.
Beautiful. When he has the violinist.
When he had the live violinist,
my
that was money.
Yes.
I really like John Cena's as well. It makes me laugh. But probably my favourite piece of music of all time, apart from Warriors, was Mankind when he won, and it played that really peaceful piano music, because it had the really scary stuff at the beginning, and when he won and he'd beat the shit out of someone, he was at peace with himself. That was masterful.
But again, that was Jim Johnson.
He was a master, and Randy Savage's as well, because just shit was on when that hit. And Jake, what am I talking about? Jake Roberts' heel music, trust me, and the slowness of it.
Doink, Evil Doink,
amazing.
Again, amazing, brilliant stuff.
We're just good at Ravishing Rick Rhodes, loved it. Hogan's, which is just, you're never going to beat that. Even Voodoo.
Well, I'll give you credit without blowing the smoke up our own asses too much. The Eden music.
Yeah, that was great.
To me, the Eden music was probably the best wrestling music I've ever heard in the UK.
Yeah, I loved the bit we used from Irreversible, but when the rest was added to it and made it that. True story, when I first heard it that first time, it actually brought me to tears. I was just like, and in my last ever match, and I was walking the aisle to it and was really milking it, because I was like, this is the last time I'll ever hear this. I was actually gulping back tears, because I was just like, this is just perfect.
The last show, because it always used to be on that, it was
weird on the last show.
Eden was always out, so it was always on. And the last show, we literally just had it on once.
Yeah.
And then, the final image was Dave with a crimson mask. Do you know what I mean?
Hugging
to see
Liam,
that. I've got to watch that.
Oh man, we're going to watch that tonight.
Yeah, we'll watch that tonight.
But no, music's so fucking important.
But you had that, you nailed that with Death Row as well. I remember it was just the constant joke backstage, wasn't it? It was just the
cool music, right? Yeah, that was amazing.
And remember we'd all be like, you're going to die.
Yeah.
You're going to die from punching.
And all that decaying bodies and stuff as well. It was very much like the old Hurt video from 9 Inch Nails. I love
so good, so good. Right, okay, do this one.
Costa.
Yeah, Costa.
Friend of the show. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You do a shit latte.
Yeah, he does do a shit latte.
M&M's or Smarties?
That is a hard hit. Right, so... If you ask child me, she'd say Smarties, but then they changed Smarties and they're shit, so now it's M&M's.
I don't like American chocolate. Hershey chocolate, they always say I was the best in the world.
No, it's not.
Reese's peanut butter cups are pretty decent.
Yeah, but it's not the best in the world.
No, it's not.
All the American guys I've ever brought over for shows, as soon as they try Galaxy, they're like, oh my god.
Their chocolate tastes of vegetable
too sugar,
oil.
yeah.
Well, like I've always said, it's dog chocolate.
Yeah. Carob.
Yeah.
That's called.
Calob, yeah.
My favourite is our Montezuma Complete Black, because I'm still a dog. 100% fancy dark London chocolate.
No, M&M's I always find a bit fucking depressing.
Revels, because fuck the police.
Tongue got really livid. Do you remember when you had that bag of Revels that were all Maltesers?
Oh,
that was a good day for me.
Worked.
I was so angry.
I actually one of the few people that like the coffee ones.
Have we got any more?
We got a whole bunch more. They don't make any sense. Who the fuck are these people? Why are they talking to me? Violet's messaged back in again. She wants to know what our most underrated submission move is. The most pointless transition and dream tag opponents are.
Oh Christ, almighty! All three.
Nice, good question.
So what's the first one? Submission, underrated, or can I just say favourite submission move? Underrated, like if it's underrated,
I'm underrated submission.
I can only tell you what the question is.
Do you know what the most underrated submission move is? Only because it's the STF, because John Cena
has ruined it.
John Cena ruined it. But
back in the day when Chono used to do it off Fez, it was fucking.
But in STF, when you hook you crank the fucking face, or you do the old Regal thing and butterfly the nose. Do you know what I mean? Awesome. So I think unfortunately John Cena has killed that. So that for me.
Never really got over in America too much, but I always loved the Dragon Sleeper because it looked fucking cool. Actually, and Kawada's stretch plum submission. There's one for everyone's going. Oh no! Manami Taira's lock where she used to tie. Oh no, it's a Kirokuro. Where she'd get them in the sharpshooter, turn around, and then pick them up underneath the armpits.
Do you mean Bull Nakano?
Did she do it as well?
Yes.
That's a great move. I like that.
Mine is the one that, do you remember that chick Cullen taught me? Which is like that fucking leg crunching, bridging bastard. Like literally nobody can fucking take because it hurts so fucking much. It is sick. It looks fucking awesome.
I'd see that.
Hang on, I'm going to show you a picture of it literally right now.
Quickly.
That's none of your damn business.
Oh.
None of your damn business. Pointless transition was the second question.
Pointless transition.
This is a picture of the submission being applied expertly, might I add.
Oh Christ almighty, that looks horrible. Don't like that.
No, nice. That could have been you.
Wasn't.
But it could have been.
Worker, retired.
Yeah,
the DDT, when you use a fucking DDT as a transition. Even the word transition. Fuck it. Stop doing transitions. Work the fucking match. Anyway. I sound like Al
I literally can't think of any transitions I do.
It's not because you're doing it right. Stop thinking of the word transition. Stop now we're going to do a rest spot. Now we're going to do a hope spot. Now we're going to do a comeback. Just fucking work.
Transition means that I'm going to counter something and I'm going to... Yes, I'm becoming a female. Thank you so much. No, it means that I'm going to counter something and then turn it into something that impacts the match. So that's what transition means to me. Like, it doesn't mean...
I don't think of a it's almost like if you're reading a script and it goes Philip exits. It's like I don't read that part.
I mean, more scripts should say that, to be fair.
They should have said it before I got here, to be quite honest. I braved a snowstorm to get here.
Did you?
Did I really?
Dream tag opponents.
Oh fucking hell.
LOD.
That's two. Opponents.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. That is a good question.
I know who mine are. Mine are Sue and Jane. So Klondike Kate and Busty King, but at their absolute fucking prime, when those girls were absolutely smashing up the fucking Japs and paving the way so that idiots like me could fucking follow them. Like, those two, my absolute fucking alphas and mamas of fucking wrestling. I love those women hardcore. So it can only ever be that, but don't ask me to pick a tag partner because I'd struggle. And then I would pick Erin because that match is fucking sick.
Hanson and Brody, just because I would die, but just to watch them walk in the aisle towards me, I'd be like, Spaffathon! I'd like them to watch them beating all the fans up on the way to my impending doom.
Steve Taylor wants to know, I need a decent all-you-can-eat Indian buffet and I don't like tandoori gore. Can you suggest another, please? Well, he ain't going to fucking suggest Angra, is he?
Well, I ain't going to be Angra, buddy.
Why wouldn't you recommend Angra?
Hang up on him.
How does Angra make you feel?
Angry.
Indian accent in central London. You'll never go there because it's in London. No avocados, though. Wankers.
Are you okay, mate?
I can't think about the transition thing. I just hate the word of it.
It's
like when people say about moveset as well. Fuck off. What's my moveset? Fuck off.
No, I got a worse one. Do you know what fucking boils my piss faster than anything else?
Does it grip your shit?
It does. It does. It grips my shit and boils my piss and twists my fucking titties. Right? When a fan talks to me about work rate. Fuck. The fucking fuck.
True story in the company that shall not be named because it was run by...
Do you mean a paedophile?
A paedophile.
Yeah. I mean, you can say that.
Okay. It was run by a paedophile.
You can't say the name now that you've said paedophile. You can either say the name or paedophile. We've led with paedophile. You can't say the name.
Okay.
That's where the law is.
I had someone in the corner and was just doing like punches in the corner as a heel. A fan shouted out, "You've had him in the corner for 50 seconds. You should do a spot now." Said that. One, you're timing it. Two, you're calling the match. He was a rotter.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's at a point.
Did you invite the fan into the ring to do your job for you?
I told him to fuck off and kicked his beers.
Nice.
There you go.
Right, listen, we've been on here over an hour. Let's have a break. Phil, pick a tune.
Marilyn Manson, Cry Little Sister, live.
Nice. And we'll be back.
You want the truth? You can't handle the truth, you cock jazz. This is Stiff Right Hand.
Right, back here on Stiff Right Hand, we've got some more questions to finish up. So,
okay. Do we start with Scott?
Yeah.
Loughran. Okay, Scott Loughran. Thank you, Scott. Were you
this is going well.
He's just spoken on. Were you a fan of Daphne since you show so much comparison to her? Also, who's your favourite opponent? Trying to get
Is that to you, Phil?
I am a fan of Daphne, yes, and when I was Phil Bateman, I did scream a lot and was a goth. And who was my favourite opponent? Scarlett.
But so this is obviously one for me. I would say that this is very, very blinkered and a very close-minded thing, because there are many fucking colours in this spectrum, and just to put me in the goth category is incredibly fucking, it's very small-minded, because you are
all the same.
Well, I guess we are, but we're not considering like Daphne was fucking great in her day. Like, she screamed, I screamed, I can do it better.
I preferred Ariel.
She can fucking work, Jesus. But you have
a Liverpool fan as well.
But what you have to consider is the contribution to the business, and you can't compare us. You can't, because we're just two completely fucking different players that with two completely fucking different end games that have achieved two completely fucking different amounts of bodies of fucking work. And whereas she's been vibrant and she has worked hard to bring fucking character to the women's scene, and that's great, and that's given people like me the fucking...
Did she ever wrestle, or was she just...
She was dealt a shit hand in TNA. Basically, from the stuff I saw, she could go. She was competent.
She was very competent in the Indies, but not in TNA.
Well, in TNA, I remember one of the last things she had to do was she had to do the strip, and apparently they sprung that on her shoe in the middle of the ring, and she didn't want to do it, and that just basically fucked her. So I was like, I felt sorry for her. She was given a shit show.
I would love to work with her, because
I'd love to see that.
She is going to be someone that I just know already, like Christina Von Eerie, that
I'm
going to have fucking natural chemistry with.
Does she still work?
She does. She's
decent,
and she is a fucking.
You did a cracking match.
I remember that,
babe.
I
loved that girl. Because we did a Bellatrix versus Shimmer thing, and Julia rightly. So it was like five of their best versus five of our best, and Saraya obviously picked her 5 girls that could fucking go some. And not the 5 girls that have the best look, not the 5 girls that are like all over the best package, the 5 girls that could go out there, get the fucking job done and have a fight if it needed to happen. And I found in Christina an absolute fucking mirror image of myself. She moved like me. She understood psychology like me. And also she was just like, this is good, but how can we make it better like me? And I love that girl. And out of everybody that was on that show, everyone that worked together, there was like Lufisto, there was Destiny, there was Melissa, Saraya was on there. Like, so just like their elite, our elite. We were the only two that, honest to God, got along. And I still talk to her now. And she's just got married to Scotty Mac. She's very happy. She's doing very well on the indies. So she did a stint in TNA, obviously, but this is where she is now. And she's just a great fucking girl. But I think, like, you shouldn't be pigeonholing girls like that, and I kind of find it a little bit offensive. So look at the girls from their body of work and not from their appearance. And also, she was green and I was red, bitch.
But and also as well, we talk about like WWE and like how they've just got the generic thing. Someone like Christina Von Eerie would probably do very well in WWE because she's a different look. And as long as you don't,
they wouldn't touch her.
Right.
They wouldn't touch her because if you look at
what Nikki Cross, isn't it? Like that.
No. Look at what WWE call Punk and edgy, and that's AJ Lee. Okay.
Yeah.
She doesn't fit as much as I don't fit. She is that X element, the same as I am, and I fucking love that in a female worker. Like if you get hard on for psychology, like you want to fucking ramp up the violence. Like we went out there, we had the opening match. We did like a technical fucking step for step thing at the beginning of the show, which was risky.
Yeah.
Everyone fucking bought it. Everyone bought it. And then we ramped it up. We started off respectful, like you can do this. I can do this too. Whatever you can do, I can do better. But we ramped it. And then by the end of the fucking match, it was so fucking loud. We had those, and we had everyone in a way that it was a lot of the girls on the show after us didn't have. And being on first was fucking cool because we got to kind of like sit back and watch the fucking chaos that we created. In my opinion, you guys can readily fucking watch this show on YouTube. Just Google Shimmer versus Bellatrix or Scarlett versus Christina Von Eerie. You'll find the links very fucking easily. They're free shows to watch. We set the fucking tone for the show hard in a way that the girls didn't, because we went out there like, you've come into my fucking, this is my space, and I've been picked as Bellatrix's warrior. Like, you've come into my fucking town, into my fucking show, my promotion, and you, just because you're an American doesn't make you better than me. It doesn't make you fucking shit or like, this is my fucking house. Prove yourself.
It's a good story.
And I was like, we stepped to each other. Whereas I felt on that show, and this is shoot, that a lot of the girls were very starstruck. A lot of the American girls were trying to be a bit moody. So this is like one thing that cheerleader Melissa did to me. I was just like, oh, Melissa, it's really nice to meet you. Like, went to shake her hand, and she's like, I'm sorry, have we met? Like, I've done like literally fucking 3 seminars with that bitch, like totaling over fucking like literally 60 hours of training with that fucking bitch. And I was just like, you know who I am. And I just left her alone, was like, wow, that's just like, I understand mystique and stuff, but I am not. I'm one of your fucking sisters. You've come here. Like, I could make you feel so fucking welcome. Like, anything you needed, I could have taken care of, but you chose to be a dick. And that says more about you than it does about me. But I found like a lot with the Bellatrix girls, not so much Julia, because like Julia will always fucking rise to the occasion. But like some of the less experienced girls, that they were looking at the Shimmer girls with this fucking, like they were on a pedestal.
What?
Like, oh, like, okay, because I want to be like you. It's like, I want you to like me. Like, I don't give a fuck if you guys like me, but what you will do is understand that we can fucking throw down here, and you will respect my fucking work. And like with Christina, like we never had that fucking relationship to start with. Like I introduced myself, she introduced herself, and we were rolling. Like within 10 seconds, we were fucking laughing so hard, and just like everyone was tiptoeing around each other, and it's just like, do you know what? We're all fucking sisters.
Yes.
Like, especially in wrestling, it's hard to be a woman. It's so hard to be a woman. So just like, don't be a fucking dick, man. Like I know, like I have done the thing where I've let my aura be intimidating, and I have done that for lessons. But I would never fucking go somewhere where it was like not my home, and like, I was there to do a job, and I wouldn't fucking deliberately do that to make people feel bad. And I certainly fucking would not be like, I've worked with Scott Hall, like I've worked with Victoria, I've been on fucking shows with Jazz, I've been on shows with Mickey James, I've been on shows with some fucking wonderful fucking talent, male and female. But you know, we're all people just doing the same fucking job. And I think that when you go in there and you're like trying to kiss people's asses and you're trying to emulate them and you're trying to make them like you because you're like, oh, I'm such a big fan, blah, blah, blah. I think that's wrong because we're just both there. Yeah, because you become a fan. Like, we're all fans of the business. That's fine. But just like, nobody's better than anybody else. That's just because of their fucking accent. Don't be stupid. I will, however, say that I am slightly a hypocrite because there's only one person that ever reduced me to fucking fan status. And I will tell you the story. Yes, it was it. No, it was Medusa.
Oh, she...
And she is fucking amazing. She is the coolest woman I've ever met in the fucking in the world. And
she's a wacky motherfucker.
I tweeted because I was just like, I'm so fucking. Oh my god, it's amazing to meet you. Like, she was fucking lovely. She watched my match. She was just like, I don't have any notes for you because you know that was a good match. And I was like, thank you, but is there anything? And she's like, she said, I wanted to watch your match because you carried yourself differently to the other girls.
And that's the entrance,
And it was just like, that was fucking cool. But I tweeted, I was just like, yeah, met Alundra Blaze / Medusa tonight, and like 8-year-old me like literally pissed her fucking. So I was being too cool for school. I wouldn't have said that to her. 8-year-old me like literally pissed her fucking panties. She came to me the next day, so we were working together the next day as well. She's like, so have you finished pissing your panties? Can we get on with some work? And I was just like, you fucking read my tweets. You are everything and I am nothing. You are God and I am scum.
But do you know what? To this point, I remember during a time with the promotion that will not be named, and there was a bit when I was in like the mid stage of my career when
why won't you name them? Is that because like you don't want to be?
When then Davis was running.
The thing is that IPW under Billy Wood has been cleansed. Yeah. It's been cleansed, darling. It's not a paedophile knockoff.
Well, do you know, IPW, 1PW, Len Davis's promotion, when they were getting lots of...
Was Len involved with them?
No, but he had his own promotion, and they were getting lots of...
It was RQW.
RQW. They were getting lots of imports over.
I'm just going to say that Len is actually not...
No, I'm not saying anything against Len.
No, Len has nothing to do with IPW. Len was former promoter of RQW and is a good friend of us and of the show. And has always been nothing but a fucking professional and a gentleman during the TV taping. So like,
No, and I'm going to say as well, Len was always a straight up guy with me, gave me the bookings and honoured his commitments to me. But
Len recognises talent, but Len more than that, Len appreciates aura. So Len can see when someone, as we were saying earlier in the car, like if you're in the airport, and eyes on you,
test,
you're a star.
But what I would say,
you don't have to tell people that you're on the show.
No, and I'm not going to name specific wrestlers, but I remember at that point.
Go on.
No, I'm not. But I remember when they were getting.
Name one.
No, I'm not. They were going to get the envelope full of purple, and you're just like, fucking hell, how much money are you earning? And they're going out there doing a house show match and absolutely drilling the English wrestler, like fucking them up, like beating the shit out of them, going, oh, great match, kid, taking the piss. And you're like, and they're like, oh, I'm getting to wrestle such and such tonight. And you're like, but you're a mark for them, and they're beating the shit out of you, and it's all strong style, and this is what we need to do. And that always stuck with me, and now I've noticed because Britain and like certain wrestlers are getting over more now, it's almost switched that the British guys are getting a lot. But it's like the one guy that always stuck with me when I got to meet him, it's not a name drop, but Eddie Guerrero, who went up to everyone and said, lovely, yeah, you know, I'm Eddie. Fucking hell, I know who you are, mate, but still did that. And I'm like, oh shit, we're all the same. We're all actors on a stage, and we're all telling the same story.
I fucking love to have met Eddie.
He was amazing.
He was really nice.
But this is where everyone makes a mistake now. It's like, don't believe your own hype. We're all telling a story. We're all telling a tale out there. And if we stop trying to do the strong style and stiffing stuff, and actually both help each other out there, the story gets over. The crowd enjoy it more. We make more money. They come to see the show next time. We make more money. More people come to see the show. It's more entertaining. The business gets over more. Stop believing your own hype, guys.
The thing is, like, we can learn lots from each other as well. Yes. So us and our transatlantic brothers and sisters. So, for example, I would throw Mercedes Martinez here as my example of someone that I've had to step to and learn from.
She was a lot better than I thought she was going to do. I thought she looked a bit gangly and unathletic. She's actually very good.
So fucking.
She changed an awful lot since the first time we saw her.
But maybe that was because I approached her differently than she was approached the first time you saw her, which was on the Bellatrix versus Shimmer match. She was approached like she was like fucking on a pedestal, like, oh my god. Whereas I was like, okay, let's do a match. And she taught me so fucking much. But she taught me so much because like my mind was open to fucking learn. Yes. Like, I'm not going into this like, well, I'm better than you, and you'll be like, no, absolutely fine. Like, I was put in that position because Julia had faith in me. It was, she was brought in. Julia was like, I need one of my girls that can stand up to her. Right? Obviously, I'm your fucking pick there. Like, that's just fucking that. But she was so fucking cool. Honestly, you just gotta like not fucking lose your head and just remember that people are fucking people.
And
whether you talk like this or whether you talk like this.
Yeah. But this is what I've got to interject in as well. This is the absolute crux of wrestling. So anybody who's out there who's not a worker, who's listening to this, who's not a wrestler, right? This is the difference between doing amateur dramatics in front of 50 people on a show. I don't know. Doing acting in front of Daniel Day-Lewis or being Daniel Day-Lewis, you up your game, and for all of it intents and purposes, I'm going to do the finger waggles now, it being fake, you are heightening the emotion. You're heightening the emotion. You're bringing more people into believing. You're resonating an experience that will resonate with other people, and they'll remember it forever, or remember it for as long as they exist. This is what we're doing. It's an art form, and if we all help each other along, I'm not talking about spots now. I'm not talking about selling merch. I'm talking about creating something that anybody that witnessed in that crowd will remember for as long as they exist. And that's, in a weird sort of way, why I do it, and I think that's why we all do it. It's for those moments where the wrestling and the art form almost becomes through you. It's not the bumps you've learned or the character you are, it's just you become that moment, and the crowd become that moment, and you've all become something where you're just all existing in that space, and it's something you never forget. You all share that same experience in different ways, and that's why we do it. So why not all work towards that and not try and be too cool? It's like when everyone goes, I always remember back in the days, it used to upset me so much when I'd be wrestling somebody or have a good match and they'd go, oh, you're a fucking mark. Like, you could never enjoy yourself too much. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a fucking mark. I'm a fucking mark because I'm the guy.
We're all fucking marks.
We are. We used to all watch it, and then we were fucking marks enough that we'd get injured. I got injured for 22 years. I fucked my body completely up for this.
I have a question regarding that. How many times do you have to fuck your own body up and get injured doing the same shit before you realise that it's not the right thing to do?
I had this.
I mean, you can take that as shade. But
no,
it's
not
not
at all.
Like that comes from a place of just like, come on.
Well, that was a learning experience, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah. You learn to slow the fuck down. But I actually remember having this conversation with Paul Ash, and I said, how... Like, I remember because I got really fucked up in my lower back, which ended up being my hips. And I said, how long can we do this for, Paul? And he said, I don't ever think about it. And I was, at that point, I was like, well, I've got to start thinking about it because I can't walk, and I was on tramadol and all sorts.
I watched a great match with you two.
No, it wasn't.
And no, like for the time, it was great, and it was cutting edge, and it was controversial, and you guys lost me. Like, it was violent. And you
the blood one?
It was the blood one. You had me fucking hard until for no reason, and you know what I'm gonna say. The pole driver.
What, through the table and outside?
Yeah. From the apron, like, no reason fucking for it. Like you're already bleeding. It's like it was already the most fucking violent match.
Yeah.
It was just insane. And it's just like, for me, that's always going to be. Always remember that, like, for everything for a reason, you know, and escalation.
Yes.
And also, if you started at fucking 99 miles an hour,
we did.
Like, where do you fucking go? I think we should move on to another question because we can go on for this.
You've got a shit ton more on your thing, I've just seen.
Right, so, okay, this is one for you, Stu.
Well, just answer them quick now.
So lovely Becca Lowe from Lincoln Fight Factory, who we are going to be going to do a seminar for in the summer. Can't wait to see you guys there. Bring your fucking work boots. You will need them. You think Stu is the worst thing that's ever going to happen to you. You are wrong.
I burnt my work boots. I'm not there.
You're not invited.
I'm not working.
You're retired. But anyway, lovely Becca, Stu. She wants to know, do wrestling students understand the value of paying their dues? And what, in your opinion, is lacking from the current type of student in comparison to when you learnt the trade? That's a fucking great question. And this is one for you, Boo.
The answer is definitely no. Nothing like it. I mean, you know, I was obviously trained by Adrian. It was very much when I came to start doing the circuit for All Star and Matt Crabtree, I was going in there into locker rooms with guys who I used to watch as a kid.
Yeah.
So the first experience of a locker room in the UK I had, it was Dave Taylor, Skull Murphy,
Skull Murphy for me too.
Marty Jones.
But they're legitimate hard men as well.
No, they were real men. Do you know what I mean? There was no fucking, you know, they were all real men, and they were guys that were top of the game and people I looked up to and idolised. And still to this day, when I meet people like Danny Boy Collins, I still mark out. Do you know what I mean? Those are real men. So you had to be, you know, there was no way of hiding. You couldn't, you know, there's no way of fucking, you know, you weren't going to go up and give someone like Skull Murphy a wrestler's handshake. Do you know what I mean? But even though it might not have been taught to me, it was obvious that you go into elders, you know, with that in mind, who they are and that they've paved the way for why you're here. Nowadays, that is not the case. You've got the internet, which makes people fucking brave. Unfortunately, they get to see the ins and outs of a duck's ass with our emotions, which is why I try and keep all my personal stuff off Facebook, because there's some things that fans behind the, you know, behind the barriers shouldn't be privy to. And I think that hasn't helped either. But if you're running a wrestling school, you have a responsibility to make that. If any of my students went to do an away show, and I heard that they hadn't introduced themselves to the room, and you know, if I ever heard that, they'd get a fucking eyed in.
Yeah,
tell the story.
It's incredibly important.
At this point, tell the story of when our existing trainees didn't introduce themselves to Jace, to Jinx. And I got pulled, and it was the scariest fucking moment of my life.
Well, yeah, you read them for it, and it's like, you know, it's imperative, and it's really fucking important. In any school up and down the country, I don't give a fuck who you are. You should be teaching that as importantly as taking a bump. Do you know what I mean? But it has been lost, and when you see people like. You know, your Will Ospreays and other people like that turning around and saying, you know, oh, the business got good, you know, and this and that. Yeah. That's when you think, okay, I don't mind, you can't knock success, but be humble. Because it won't always be there. Wrestling won't hold you at night, because when wrestling's gone, you'd like to leave a fucking legacy that you were at least a decent fucking person.
Oh, here we go. Right, okay. I had Skull Murphy put me in his finisher backstage and lift me up so far my feet couldn't touch the ground, and I thought my jaw was going to fucking break. I had someone still deviate my septum during a match to calm me down in one of my first ever matches, because I was panicking, and the best way he thought to calm me down was to break my nose. Right, not in a bad way. I'm going to take this out of wrestling for a second. Today I worked for Tarnya and Scarlett's, and I was making myself available to do anything I could around that shop. I'm 41 years old. We're going to set up the ring, ask what you can do, shake everyone's hand. Why is it paying your dues? Is it being respectful? No, it's being a fucking good human being. Okay. At the end of the day, we're all.
Let's just throw in now that paying your dues is more than shaking your hands and being polite and respecting your elders and everything. It's stuff like going out there and doing flyering. It's stuff like promoting the shows that you're on. It's stuff like earning your spot on said shows. It's stuff like putting the fucking ring up. It's stuff like taking the ring down. It's stuff like picking up the pieces of fucking shit that's in the locker room on a show that we've taken a punt on you being on to give you that chance to fucking develop you. Paying your dues is so much more than being respectful and being humble. It's all encompassing.
And do you know what? This is coming from someone now that has worked in professional wrestling, spoken word, boylesque, performance art. Okay? So 4 different disciplines. And one person...
Is boylesque a discipline?
When I do it, it is. God. But when someone asked me once, how do I become a professional? And it's, or like in anything, it's like, do you know you become a professional? You turn up on time. You don't be a dick backstage, and you ask how you can help out, and you say thank you to everyone. Because your act, whatever you're doing, whatever discipline you're in, is only so good. Do you know what gets you repeat bookings? Being fucking that nice person backstage. And they go, oh shit, I remember them. They were really good quality backstage. They were good. And this is why EWW is so important, because everyone is a fucking winner backstage. There's no because... Ultimately, you spend more time travelling to the show and sitting backstage than you're doing your 10 minutes out in that ring. So if you're a dick, if you think you're too cool for it, if the only thing you can say backstage is, guess how much money I'm earning for this one, no one gives a fuck. You're a dickhead. Get out. And that's the thing that makes a difference. And the thing I'll say about the old school, they weren't very friendly. It wasn't always a funny locker room backstage, because I never got a laugh out of it. But they treated it with respect. You know what? Because they thought, I'm doing a job tonight. They were serious, hard men. And they've wrestled multiple dates for years and years and years. And they're like, I take this fucking seriously. I've suffered to get here. And I'm working class. And the business is down. But I'm still treating it with respect. And the money, as Stuart said, the money won't always be there. So why not instill this to the next generation now that you've got to be professional about it, because that's what will carry it through the next cycle.
Good question. Next question.
I also wanted to jump in and say, like, I don't necessarily agree with that the old school aren't friendly, because everybody that I've met or interacted with,
yeah, but no, you weren't. You weren't
there, man. I went there in the thick
when
of
I first started, it was people like fucking Johnny Angel, and Tony Stewart, and they were people. Now the kids are lucky enough to have the old school wanting to help them, but back then they didn't want us in the job.
No,
they were like, you haven't got a fucking place here.
So, do you think that perhaps we need maybe a similar mentality of that to weed out the wrong element? Or
the big problem, I would say, the newer element got the whole idea of ribbing or paying your dues, and they just started to become bullies. There was no rhyme or reason behind it. There was no learning respect. People. And
back then, the old school guys were so good at their craft, they were doing it because it was their job, it was their livelihood. Nowadays, there's so many fucking hobbyists doing it and undercutting the good workers because they're doing it for nothing.
Another thing, guys, if the best thing you can say about your work is that you're cheap, or you'll do it for nothing, or you'll actually pay money to be on a show, fuck off.
As I said to you earlier, the best is never the cheapest.
No.
I was saying to a guy last week, and I'm not going to name his name, he's a nice fella.
It was me.
And I said to him, listen, I said, you've been doing this long enough now. I've heard you work for cheap or free. Start fucking, you're your own agent. That's the reason why I've had a problem in the past. If you're good at it, don't do it for free. Start fucking, put your prices up, and start fucking working your merchandise. Start working your merchandise and fucking make your money, because that's why people resent you.
Do you know what I noticed as well? Know your fucking worth, because I had an interesting conversation when I was doing my performance art stuff, and because I have a full-time job, I was lucky enough to say, well, when I do my performance art, I don't always have to take a good payoff because I can afford to do it. And someone said to me, I've got to follow you, and you're doing it, you can afford to do it like this. And it actually made me, now I won't actually not take a payment, because simple fact is, if I go, oh, I'm all right, that's not a problem for me, the person following goes, well, Phil will do it for nothing, why won't you do it for nothing?
Yeah,
and I'm like,
exactly.
That's an important, know your worth. If you're good at what you do, then you should get paid for it, and then the next person should get paid for it as well. If they're not good enough, then they won't get paid for it. But know your worth, but also at the same time be respectful and understand who stood before you as well.
Yeah, 100%. Next question.
Anthony English via Facebook.
Hello, Anthony.
Here we go. There's a few here. So, Benoit. Guilty, innocent, or diminished responsibility due to brain damage.
Interesting.
He'd also like to know, should leg slapping be banned? He'd also like to know, is calling spot 1 through to 76 still storytelling? And he'd also like to know, are the Teletubbies responsible for the youth of today fucking podgy TV belly cunts demanding again all the fucking time? So there's 4 questions there. Benoit, I mean,
I'm going to say, after watching that film Concussion with Will Smith and actually doing quite a lot of research into NFL players and being really interested in it, I'm going to say just diminished responsibility. I'm also going to say he was a murdering cunt, but
there's no way that we can ever fucking know what happened. There's no fucking way. So it's just like, so my opinion is moot because it just, there's no fucking way. Like, I didn't see it. There's no way. There's nothing to say. I mean, it's just like he shouldn't have done it. It's terrible. It's a tragedy. It's so fucking sad. It's such a senseless fucking waste. It's such a senseless waste. But how can...
We'll never know.
No one will ever know.
And it's a terrible, it's a horrible, tragic thing. A woman and child died, and a man died, and we don't know what he was going.
The whole family is just awful. But leg slapping, however, I do have an opinion on. And if you fucking can throw a kick, it makes a noise, so you don't need to slap your leg. And by the fucking way, if you're one of those cunts that slap your legs and then shakes your hand because your hand hurts because you slapped your leg so fucking hard, you are the worst piece of fucking shit in the business, and you should reconsider and maybe get a job at McDonald's.
When Shawn Michaels did it...
Yeah.
That's good. That was good. The shade of it all. You shady ape. When Shawn Michaels did it, it was good. When anyone else did it, it was bollocks. Like anything, like the DDT, it gets over.
Shawn Michaels can fucking suck my dick, man. He just he got knocked the fuck out and then laid there chewing gum. He's a cunt.
Can I just say, future predictions here, watch Stephanie McMahon do something similar at WrestleMania with Ronda Rousey after the armbar.
I just literally could not give less of a fuck about.
Have you got any more questions? I've got some.
Yeah, we're working through Anthony's and you're not paying any attention.
No, of course not.
So go on, the Benoit thing, Stu.
Oh, I don't know, man. I think it's fucking. It was just awful, and I think it's a mixture of too much gear, too many headshots, and you don't know what was going on at home, but obviously inexcusable. But I don't think his legacy, leg slaps I hate. I don't think his legacy should be written off though, really.
I've got to be honest, I still watch him versus Kurt Angle. I think that's a fucking incredible match. Him versus
Eddie. Amazing.
Oh my god.
Amazing. Calling spot 1 through fucking 76 million. Right, is that telling a story?
Randy Savage did it all the time, allegedly.
Oh, right. Yes and no. So if you know where you're going in your story, then it helps you tell the story. But there's more to telling a story, because what's the fucking point of telling a story if nobody gives a fuck to listen to it? So you have to understand that whatever you've got planned is superseded by the fact that everybody isn't fucking buying it, and now you have to adapt in the ring. Because what are you going to do? You're going to go back and explain to the promoter that everyone was sat on their fucking feet, everyone sat on their hands, everyone was fucking went to the bar. I know, everyone went to the bar, everyone was fucking reading books or on their fucking phone, and there was that fucking noise of murmuring during your fucking match. And you know that, I'm sorry, that not that they didn't get the match, it's because they didn't give a fuck about the match. So you have to be adaptable, man. So maybe know where you're gonna go, but be flexible in how you get there.
I've got a 2-part answer to this really quickly. Backstage at a match one time, 4-way was being planned. The whole thing was being planned out, literally move for move, in the mat wrestling part. And I went, what happens if they don't like it? What happens if the crowd don't like it? And the person turned around at me and went, fuck them. Right, brilliant. Okay, so that's
they're just paying you wages. I mean, fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them. You know, they might not come back again. I will say, when I was finishing up my wrestling career and when I do performance art now, the best parts of the match, or the best parts of when I do my work now, is I know the materials I'm going to use. I maybe know the spots. I hate using that term, but I know where we're going. Material. But then something goes wrong, and beside everyone that's wrestling now is, oh fuck, we blew a spot. That's when you ultimately get the best bit of the matches. Why? Because it becomes real, because you both have to react in the moment, and that's what crowds resonate with, because they realise, fuck, this isn't what they expected. Then you've got them. Then you've hooked them. Then you learn something about yourself, your craft, and the person you're working with. So seek those fucking moments out. Exactly what Tarnya just said. If I'm going to lay it out as a map, you know where you're going. You're going to lay out some waypoints, but how you get there, let's have some fun with it. It's how, in the last 2 years of my career, I laid out my matches. Stu, before we went out, they said, let's call it all out there. My last ever match with Tarnya, we had a few spots lined out, probably a few too many elbow drops, sorry. But we got there by listening to the crowd. Listen to that fucking crowd. I've seen some matches recently where someone's done this cool spot and the crowd have cabbage farted it. It's like, why did you do that then? Listen to the fucking crowd.
And when you've had 2,000 people fucking tear the roof off of a place because you've kicked out of a fucking move.
Then you've got them.
That is a glorious thing. And no fucking planning a match will ever give you that fucking feeling, because that is an organic feeling only.
If you watch back in the day when their matches were being planned by me, there was two different ways. If I'd planned something move for move, bell to bell, I'd walk like Frankenstein. If I'd planned out a few waypoints and we were going to call it out there, I'd walk very fluidly. Really good reason why, because one, I was in the moment, the other one I was trying to remember everything. You pick which one's better.
Right, okay, so last question was, he said something about Teletubbies and I can't remember, so
yes.
Anthony.
What about Teletubbies?
Right, he said, via Facebook, he said, are the Teletubbies responsible for the youth of today? Fucking podgy, TV belly cunts demanding again, all the time.
Yes. Also, gender fluidity, the purple one.
Well, last question is from Chris.
Oh, God.
Chris O'Regan. Question for Tarn. What made you want to get into wrestling? And at what point did you realise Stu was the one?
Oh.
That's a nice question.
Okay, so I have always had a fucking chip on my shoulder ever since I was fucking born. I have never ever liked...
Really?
Yeah. No, I have never liked fucking stupid bullshit gender equality. I've not liked the fact that boys can play rugby and girls can't play rugby because they're going to get hurt. Boys can do wrestling at school. Girls can't do wrestling at school because they're going to get hurt. And you know, I hated fucking from a young age that boys fucking heroes were like Arnold Schwarzenegger and fucking cool people like fucking like the Power Rangers, like they were cool ass fucking Batman, Superman, right? What did we fucking have? Girls Allowed. Like fucking nothing.
Something can't do though.
No, absolutely fucking nothing. And it just struck me that I'd never ever wanted to be like that. And it always pissed me off whenever I was told that I couldn't do something as well as a boy because, you know, you got a dick. Well, that doesn't fucking... You're just carrying extra weight then, mate. That's how I see it. It was fucking... and it was inevitable that I was going to find wrestling. It was something that I found via... I was doing an alternative modelling job. Don't bother fucking looking it up. I can't give a fuck about it. I just don't care about it.
I care. We all have my one.
We all have... Don't put yourself over. We all have past lives. But I was on a job with a girl that was training at a terrible school. She was like, come along, you'll love it. I did one session. It was very fucking clear I was going to pick it up quickly. It was a bad fucking school. Bad place to learn. But it was clear that I had the aptitude to pick it up quickly and do something with it. So that's how I got into wrestling. As for Stu, when I met him, which was on an LDN show, he contacted me because he famously had loads of valets. He sent me a message and was like, I'm on TV, do you want to do that? And I was like, fuck off, I'm a female wrestler. So you either get me a spot, because I'm not going to be your fucking dolly bag. I am not gonna fucking stand there and point at you when I'm a good wife. Like, I'm not going to fucking do that. No way. Fucking check yourself. Don't you dare. He was like, all right, well, this is what you can do. Well, fine. I will be there. So I ended up going to the show. I brought my boyfriend along. He was a fucking joke at the time. You know when you're in like those relationships where it's like, it's better to be with someone then like be alone.
No.
Because when you're alone, that means that you're losing at life. You know, before you learn that lesson that you're fucking awesome as you are, before you learn that lesson. So that's where I was.
You know what that's like, Phil.
Phil, don't you even fucking dare tell me you don't know what that was like.
That was Stockholm Syndrome, that was different.
And I didn't marry him, so... Anyway, I literally knew I was going to marry Stu the moment I laid eyes on him. The moment I looked in his eyes, I was like, oh shit, I'm going to marry you. I felt like I just fucking knew it. And he was trying so hard to be a sleazeball and get me in the hot tub, and I was just like, nah.
Good work, Smooth Joe.
Literally, nah.
It didn't work.
But he did this thing. He did this fucking thing. It was so cool. I was this fucking...
Did he throw you in
No. I was with this fucking dick guy at the time. And Stu did this thing. It was literally like the hottest thing that anyone's ever fucking done in my life. Where, no. He went to my boyfriend at the time. Went to shake his hand because like he didn't want to stay and party. I wanted to stay and party. Of course I did. I wanted to get on him. But he shook his hand. I'm going to do it to you. He shook his hand and he went, take care of her, like that.
Oh.
And then, no. And then he pulled him into his ear so that I could hear him. And he went, or I fucking will.
Oh.
Flooded the basement. Like, that's it, I'm yours. It's done. It's done. And like, literally, we drove all the way. It was like fucking 3 hours. We drove all the way back home with me with fucking mentionitis. Stu, and then Stu did that, and Stu, and the really funny thing that Stu did was this, and then Stu, and oh, by the way, did I tell you about this thing that Stu did, like, all the way home?
Do you know what? Even though we're going to have to leap into the future because the music hadn't been recorded yet, as Stu shook his hand and said that line, all I can think is about Bobby Roode's music kicking and going, glorious! Because I have to, Radio Land, Podcast Land, I'm now shaking Stu's hand because that's one of the best fucking lines I've ever heard. That's Tarantino line.
I was just like, ah!
You guys give me faith in the future.
And the thing was, I was just like, I was a bit of a dick and I binned him off fucking sight, like...
Yeah, well after that line, how the fuck could you not?
Yeah, no, I binned him off. But I was just like, I need a few weeks because I need to get rid of this twat. Like, I literally don't give a shit about him. But, like, I need you to trust me. And it was really frustrating. I ended up spending Christmas by myself because of it, and it was all just fucking stupid. But I just like, no relationship should ever be fucking born out of
being scared of yourself.
Well, that, and also from one partner being a cheating twat.
Frogger relationship, as I like to call it.
Yeah, like no one wants a fucking rebound, and it's just like, respect yourself, because when you do, good shit happens. That's that. That's that story.
I think that's almost one of the best ways you could end this tonight, to be quite honest. Respect yourself.
I'm quite finished yet.
Oh, we've got another one.
You said previously you guys talked about you not being so good in the early days and needing some good people to work with. Who did you work with that made a difference?
Oh, that is a fucking good question.
I didn't work with him, but one of the people... Obviously you, because you retrained me, but in the early days, one of the first... Well, there was a few people that helped me in the early days. One of the first people that helped me fiercely was Raven. And he pulled me after every single match I ever did and absolutely tore everything I did down and explained why it was wrong and was being very helpful. The other was actually you. And as much as I fucking hate to put you over, I was I'm gonna punch you. I've told this story a few times, but I was in that feud with Marty. Okay, and it wasn't good. I wasn't good, and Marty was supposed to help me, and for fucking whatever reason, it just didn't happen. And people were out for themselves, and you were going to pull me off the tour. Do you remember that?
Yeah, of course I do.
So we had this fucking horrible conversation where it's just like, you buck your ideas up tonight. You're off this fucking tour.
Well, I remember seeing the match from the night before,
and it was terrible.
It was hard to watch.
Looking back on that. That is someone that is green as fucking shit and someone not being there for them. Just to make themselves up.
You realise
I gave a fuck so much, and it really, really fucking upset me. And it upset me so bad that I was seeking counsel with people with Klondike. Like, she was the first person I spoke to and was just like, this is happening, why is this happening? Please help me. Anyway, so on that night that I was given the ultimatum, I was just like, fuck fucking fuck, I can't get better than I am in one night. I can't. And I remember that you were given, you were managing Marty, and
I said I'd catch the dive.
No, it was even before that, and you were just like, you just don't seem that into it. You like, you don't seem that into it. What's up? And I was just like, right, look, can I just tell you something? And I told you everything, and I was just like, and I'm not good enough, and I shouldn't be here, and it's fucking clear, and I don't like, and I'm sorry, and I just want to do a good job. Like, I just want to do a fucking good, like, I care so much, I just want to do a good job, and I can't, like, no matter how hard I try, and it wasn't that I was being lazy, I was trying so fucking hard, I just couldn't fucking do it, and you were like, okay, just do everything I say. And that's what you said. You just do everything I say. I'm going to explain everything to you. And it was even down to little things like when Marty was choking me on the ropes and I wasn't reacting. You were like, kick your legs. Okay, cool. And that whole match, you were in my fight as his manager. You were still in my ear, helping me out. And you were like, what can you do? Like, what can you do that's better than anyone? What can you do? I was like, I can do stunts. I can dive. I can do this stuff. And you didn't want me doing that shit because like I had fucking no confidence with it because what had happened the night before. And you were like, do it. Yeah. If he doesn't catch you, I will fucking catch you. And I was like, oh no, because I know what it's like when someone leaves you there and everyone's like, you fucked up. I'm like, I didn't fuck up. No one was there for me. Yeah. Like, that's not me. Like, fuck you guys. And you were fucking, like, absolutely, obviously fucking there. And you were there for the whole fucking match, in my ear, to catch everything, just to correct stuff. And it was so fucking good to walk backstage after that. Because you'd done a run-in, because, like, this was a fucking little beat, like, just to set up for the main event or whatever. You'd done a run-in, and, like, it took a while for us all to get backstage. And I was just like, oh God, I'm going to get bollocked. That wasn't good. I'm going to be in so much fucking trouble. It's horrible. I just want to be here. Why can't I do anything right? And it was the first time fucking to that point. Like, it happens now all the fucking time. But it was the first time then or ever that you were like, that was so good. And you were like, well done. And you literally said, where the fuck did that come from? And I was just like, oh my God, fucking survived by the skin of my teeth. And like, I couldn't have thanked you fucking enough. And I still can't, because like we didn't have a good start. Like, we weren't friends to start with by a long fucking shot, and we shouldn't have been, because I was his girlfriend. There was no reason for us to be fucking friends. And you should have fucking seen me like that, because I would fucking see someone like that. That's absolutely fucking right. But you gave me the opportunity to change your fucking mind, and not a lot of them did, and not a lot of them survived. No, and I'm still here.
And to finish the show for Tarn, WrestleMania match, who would you face, past, present, and what would be the story?
It would be Born Akane, and the story would be I'm very, very different from the other girls, and it's not about being the most beautiful, and it's not about legacy, and it's not about who's got the best fucking move and the best hair, and it's not about all of that shit. It's just about who was strong, and who dealt with their fucking shit, and who dealt with their shit, came through their shit, and fucking was positive, and who fucking inspired. And I would like to fucking meet her face to face with that same story, and she would kill me, and I would go over strong. No, just like it would be something like that, or like just even fucking just Jane, or even like I would do that story with Julia. Even like I just hope that one day she'd have another match with me.
It's cool.
Personally, I'd like to have seen you, with Born Akane in her heyday. I thought she was amazing.
Minami Toyota.
Akira Kuro.
Luna. Sherry.
Oh.
Shinobu Kendori.
That is one person. I'm just going to finish asking a question. I always thought always say people who you'd like to have a session with and just have a night talking and having drinks, etc.
Terry Funk.
Not even wrestling, for me it would be...
Billy Connolly.
Billy Connolly, Brian Blessed, Oliver Reed, and wrestling-wise, Sherry. Because I've heard some amazing stories about Sherry.
Oliver Reed, I think I would get into a fight with. I think he'd try to be dazzling and I'd punch him.
I would say Warrior, because his acceptance speech at the Hall of Fame to this day still inspires me. That man, it's tragic he died. No, that man had his head screwed on with life so perfectly. That bit when he thanks his wife and daughters, it still chokes me up now. He had achieved. If you want to talk about beating wrestling or beating the system, that guy had beaten the system. He didn't have, for all this thing, he's an ego. No, he knew his worth and he had achieved peace with himself, and he didn't care about any of the like the haters on the internet or anything like that. He was just peaceful in himself and had a wonderful life. And when you looked at his comparisons, be Savage, who unfortunately died, or Hogan, who was getting divorced by his wife and is just still all over the place, he was married with 2 beautiful daughters and at peace with himself, and had used the business to achieve peace with himself, and I think that is spectacular. Aside from that, I'd love to spend... It sounds... not in a gay sense. I would love to spend a night with Darren Brown, because that guy blows.
He's a wizard. I don't trust him. He's going to make me punch myself in the face or something stupid.
I'd let him make my punch myself in the face. I think he is absolutely amazing.
He is amazing.
And Brian Blessed too. I'm going to go and see him.
Mine would be Billy Connolly, for sure. And I would love... she's still alive, but I would fucking love to have a kitchen table conversation with Dana Warrior, because she out of every wife or every fallen wrestler's wife, she has absolutely carried herself with such fucking class and dignity. She is inspirational. She is beautiful. She is so fucking powerful, and I fucking love seeing her stuff. Yes. Because it makes me, like, it holds a mirror to me, and it makes me want to be better, because what she has had to deal with is like what I have had to fucking come through in my life is nothing to that heartbreak and fucking that loss that woman must be feeling. And she didn't fucking let herself become a victim. She became an ambassador for her husband, and she his legacy absolutely lives on through her, and it lives on in like the strongest, most beautiful, fucking powerful way that it could, because in him falling, he built and fucking elevated 3 women. Yes. And you will hear from his daughters, like, mark my fucking words, those girls will fucking achieve some massive
Probably
things.
Not in wrestling,
and I will say it now. No, one of them will and one of them won't, and that's my prediction.
I do hope so. Listen, we're going to wrap it up. A little bit different this week, but thank you for everyone who's sent in questions. Much appreciated. We're going to go and, probably get drunk. And
I'm not going to drink the snake venom anymore. We give that a shot.
I'm a bit frightened of that. It looks like...
I drank some. It's disgusting.
It looks like urine.
I think it is. Snake urine.
Yeah, and judging by Tom's face... Yeah, it was a little bit like watching someone on I'm a Celebrity get me out of there. So it put me off a little bit. But anyway, say goodnight to the folks, Gracie.
Join us.
You're Gracie tonight.
Am I Gracie?
Yeah, Gracie.
Join us, my children.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for listening. Same time again next week. And in the meantime, don't go mad and...
Get the fuck out of my kitchen!
Bye!
Yes, get out.
If you have been affected by another subject matter or topics covered on this week's Stiff Right Hand podcast, please call 0800 Go Fuck Yourself.